This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is fun.
Good morning. What a mess. Good morning,
Yo,
Trees.
what's going on?
What a mess.
It's still a mess, but it's starting to go down the way me and Terrence wanted to.
No, I mean,
It's starting. Hey,
no,
it gotta be a beginning to the end, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I think Francesa made a good point because I was listening to his pod. I mean, the team does have talent. It's not like it's 2-14 when Douglas took it over, or that first year he was there and we were 2-14. So yeah, if you bring the right coach in,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be like, oh, next year we're 4-13. We could be competing. And if Rodgers does want to stay one more year because of the salary cap or whatever, he can, but he has to realize that it's not, he doesn't have a say. And frankly, if the new GM and the new coach allow him to do that, then again, we're going to be here 4 years from now doing the same thing all over again because we didn't pick the right GM and head coach. But to me, I don't know if Charles is going to be listening later, but once again, I don't know if the Atlantic is just a hit piece on Woody Johnson, but it confirmed what I've believed all along, that this guy was meddling.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson's been meddling for the last year and a half. And when you go the last 15 years with the results that we've had with just one winning season, the Todd Bowles first season, where, we almost made the playoffs, except we lost 22-17, because Fitzpatrick kept throwing interceptions. To me, I don't have any faith that this owner is going to pick the right combo. But you know what? Hope springs eternal, and we'll see what they do in January. And you know what? No matter what, we're going to be excited because it's a new GM, it's a new coach, and we're going to get excited about it. And we're going to talk about the draft. And again, the cupboard is not bare. And I think you could use the example of Harbaugh with the Chargers. That if the right coach comes in with the right philosophy, the talent's there. It's just they have to decide which guys are keepers and which guys got to go. Like whether
Mm-hmm.
can Sauce bounce back, or is Sauce better off? Somebody taking we're getting draft capital for him. If because who knows? Can he play if the defense is man? Or a combination of man and zone, can he be effective both ways, or is he strictly a zone covering his space last night? Is as good as Sauce is, he causes no fumbles, causes no interceptions until this year. But at the same time, I'm not going to show the virtues of this guy if he can't if he can't change anything on the defense and basically be a force multiplier, causing turnovers or doing something over there. And that's where they have to evaluate next year whether they extend him or he just needs the right coaching to get back to the all-pro level that he was.
I don't know about excitement, but I sure as hell ain't excited about nothing going with this team anymore.
You
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing they
crazy,
can
man.
do to go
Yeah.
buy season tickets, to renew, to buy another Jet shirt, and I have tons of the crap. But in my lifetime, I know I'm never touching
Yeah.
a division
Yeah.
championship
Yeah.
game with
Wait,
Yeah.
this mess.
1 second, Jarek. Terrence and Hector, you guys are long suffering. So is June and I, but this is the worst season, in my opinion.
It is.
In,
It's
in my
definitely
life,
is.
100%.
in
It
my
is.
life, even though the
It's
one in
worse than the one in
15,
And I agree.
Good.
And I agree with what the guy just said. I mean, the problem, I know, Petey, you're a season ticket holder. You're not giving up your tickets, but a message has to be sent to the owner that the decisions he's making aren't good. But that people used to, when the tickets were cheaper, they used to burn them outside the stadium and everything, or they wouldn't go. Like Shea Stadium used to be empty seats, but they don't do that now. But like, he has to feel it financially for him to get the message. Right now, he don't care, because every year somebody they buy more apparel. They see, like and credit to you, the season tickets go up, and you're the first, and you're told, hey, in November I got to put my money up, and you do it, and that's not against you. You do the right thing. You're a season ticket holder, and you get the benefits of that. But to me, he doesn't feel the pain that the fans do, and I hope he just makes the right
Yeah, but
decision this time.
Terrence, he's not gonna. Whatever the TV deal alone, they make enough money. His worth is just. I don't even know where to begin
Oh,
with this
agreed.
guy. I really don't. I
Agreed.
really don't.
Agreed. But I think what the guy said was right. You know what? Like, if we draft a quarterback next year, like, I'm just gonna wait a year before I buy that jersey or something, because I bought Darnold and Wilson, and look what happened. Now I'm waiting to put Corley on the back of my Darnold jersey if he works out okay.
I bought. Don't forget, we also bought the Rodgers. At least I did.
Oh
3
wow.
bad investments.
Yo, that's the reason why any jersey I buy, I put my name on the back of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't do it. I
I
just
mean,
buy it.
I'm trying to
The
motivate
best
myself.
jersey, idea is to buy an Boozer jersey, because you can put Boozer on the back. That's it.
Yeah, I
Tough
gotta
to get
find a way to get
motivated
rid
to
of what
go
he
to the
just.
rest of the games. Really tough, especially if the
Yeah,
weather's not good.
yeah. Nobody
I
will.
don't know.
Hector, nobody will be there. I mean, people will be there, but whatever, man.
Like
This
I
is
said,
just so depressing.
PD,
yeah,
you gotta find a way to get rid of this owner, man. You gotta
He's
find a way.
not though. He's going away.
He's the
He's.
problem. He was
I
the
agree.
problem.
I agree.
It's like you ever seen wrestling when Vince McMahon unveils himself and he says, "It's me, Austin. It's me all along." That's him. How do you Reddick wanted he wanted that extension. He wanted to get extended. He wanted to be a general than anybody. And he basically said, no, we want you on 1 year. No, we don't want you to do it. And he was willing to take less money for an extension.
You're right, Jared.
And he said
And
no.
also, don't forget Huff.
Oh, yep.
Douglas wanted to extend Huff, man.
He blocked Huff. He wanted Michael Clemens for more playing time, and then he recently told the coaching staff to bench Tony. What the hell is going on?
I don't know if he wanted Michael Clemens playing more. I mean,
but it's strange. Clemens was getting a lot more playing time, even than Quinn in a couple of games, and I'm like, what is going
because they
on
don't
here?
have a lot of defensive ends. Who else are they going to play? Braylon McGregor?
But we don't really have any defensive tackles either.
No, I agree. Douglas mismanaged the line too. This goes on. This is not all on Woody. I'm sorry. So what we're saying is now Douglas should have got a pass, and they should have
No,
kept him.
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Bad coach, bad quarterback. He's got enough on his resume to deserve to get fired. Yep.
Yeah, this shit is wild, man.
they should have given Darnold a chance and gotten him some weapons. And 3 number 2s we would have kept.
Yeah, but I don't think that would have worked either. Nothing works with these guys at all.
Yep.
But Petey,
Right.
if the Woody shit's all true, who would this have worked with? I'm just asking, and I'm not advocating for Joe, but who would this work with? What GM in history of football, if Woody's doing what he's doing, is this going to work for?
And Buckeye,
Exactly.
Buckeye, that's why I said before, this job, nobody is at the bottom of the list because people don't want to deal with that shit.
Right.
It's the bottom of the list, bro.
And I think the hit piece too. I think it's basically a hit piece to basically scare away any potential. No agent for Johnson in Detroit, Vrabel. Like nobody is gonna come here as their first choice.
No,
That's the thing. Like, yeah, we'll get somebody because there's only 32 of them, but we'll get like the third or fourth guy on everybody's board, and we'll just get average, or we'll get a retread, and like we just have to hope that that guy either learns from his mistakes in the past, or that we pick somebody so out of the box that nobody knew how good this GM or this
By the
coach
way,
was,
if I'm an agent
and
for
that's it.
if I'm an agent for any of the players, Sauce, Garrett, all these guys, this is their perfect time to ask for the moon and the stars. Like, I would create the most noise and
Absolutely.
problems right now
Absolutely.
because there's so
Especially in the
much
off
noise right
season.
now. Yeah, so much noise right now. I would attack right now. Pay me, pay me, pay me, pay me, just to create more problems for Woody right now. Perfect timing as an agent.
He needs to do what Hess did and way overpay for a top head coach
yes.
and let the coach promise the coach he's going to get his ass out of the way and take off to the UK, whatever he's got to do. That's the only way. We need a head coach that really knows what the hell he's doing and has
No,
a staff.
but you know what, Heck? See, this where the problem lies. That it was agreed that no one would meddle with Joe Douglas. So now that it come out that he did meddle, who's gonna believe him?
Joke, should
Yeah.
we
And this
hire
was
Phil
during
Jackson?
the off season. It wasn't just during the season. It was during the off season
Yeah, yeah.
for a full year.
Nelson, what's going on, man? Good morning, brother.
June, what's up, PD? How you guys doing?
What's good
Good
with you,
morning.
brother?
I know, June, you and I were going back
What's
and
up?
forth yesterday.
Yes, we
Probably
was.
before. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Like right when he got fired. And
Yep.
listen, I don't know if I'm the only long tenured fan. Like I mentioned, I'm a fan since the stock exchange, and
Me
I've
too.
seen a lot. And it's almost like he's like, like Woody's like kind of like Steinbrennerish, this year. Because I'm a Yankee fan. I've seen that, but there has to be somebody in that building or like his inner circle has to like call and say, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" You know,
Maybe they're
certainly
afraid of him, though. Maybe people are afraid of bosses. you
he's he,
know,
he's like he has the same tendencies as Steinbrenner. It's like he's firing everybody,
Yeah, shit is funny.
and there has to be somebody has to be talking to. I don't know. I think that this team is still. Um, I think people will look into it because we have the talent. We still got the talent. This is not like Coach said they had no talent. They have talent on this team. They just need coaching. That's my opinion. They have to
But
get some.
Nelson, even though you got the talent, who's gonna want to do? What good is talent when you can't really do what you want to do without him jumping in?
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
It's a shit show.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Jokes, what's
he got
going
it.
on, brother? Good morning.
I can't believe I have to say this, but if you read that article, like, do you think that it's a flex that Woody Johnson said no to Jerry Judy at a day 2 pick? Like the fact that you actually thought that was a good thing. First of all, Douglas is leaking this. This is the same hit
Of
piece that
course.
that came out when he was trying to distance himself from Salah.
Yep.
You can say a lot of things about Woody Johnson, and he's a fucking imbecile, but he had 5 years to get this done, and he didn't start meddling until he wanted to get Rodgers. So, like, you miss on the quarterback, shit happens. And when people are talking about bringing a coach in here, money talks and bullshit walks. You
Yep.
pay, people come. Period. The
So
end.
jokes. I don't know if you're changing your stance, but good morning, by the way. So you think, because I've been saying that too, money, if you pay somebody, they'll come. So you would.
It's a
So
bet.
I'm
It
not
is.
saying that I'm
Listen,
saying this, but
I
God,
think you're paying a jet tax. What I'm gonna say
okay.
is it is a. I think it's a bad look to fire your coach. and then your GM 4 weeks later when his contract was up. Like he's not doing anything. He's not.
And jokes add this: Hackett's
That's a
still in the
bad
building.
look.
Hackett's
Yeah,
still in the building.
mm, mm, it's a bad
How
look.
is Hackett still in the building? That with all this going on.
Yeah,
That's
who
the
cares?
next thing they got to clear up. The next move has to be: are you going to get rid of Rogers,
Well,
or
Rogers
is
is
he
gone.
coming back?
Jokes,
No,
is he
You
though? Why
gotta
is
you gotta
Hackett in the
make you
building if he's
gotta
out?
make that
he's
announcement
gone.
next.
He's gone. He's gonna retire. It's he's done. He's cooked.
Now, see, my only pushback with that is, yeah, you could write a blank check, but to get the right coach that you want in here,
Nobody's gonna want to coach Aaron Rodgers, Drew.
then you're absolutely fucking right. That's my point.
He's done.
That's my
I think
point.
I don't. If it's true that Woody was thinking about benching him after the fourth week, which he was terrible for 3 out of the 4 first weeks, maybe because of injury. I think that was taken out of context. I think they wanted to bench him, not send him to Europe because he was beat up. But he's been terrible, and the numbers don't even show. The numbers are skewed because he's had
True.
2 good games where he's got like 6 touchdowns in 2 of those games. The numbers are skewed. I mean, he was really not doing well against Buffalo. It took him a Hail Mary to get back into that game. Yeah, I mean, you really start to look at it through an objective lens. He has not been good, and maybe he's
Our
not back from the Achilles, but I don't know. That's
Well,
not
jokes.
a
I
gamble.
don't take too much into it, but I did see Connie posted something this morning. Uh, what Boomer Esiason thinks that Rogers is hurt and he's
Is he
fighting
gonna?
through everything. And I'm just
I,
saying. I'm not sticking up for Rogers here.
oh
It's
no, I
just
don't. I'm not.
he
But
thinks
do
he's
you?
hurt and he doesn't want to put himself on the bench, especially after what it's his ego, bro.
That's fine, and your ego gets you fucking replaced next year. He might be a Hall of Famer, but he's not. He hasn't done anything here.
Nope.
And what I'm going to tell you another step forward is he learned this year that he's not Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. He's not beating people at the line of scrimmage. His checks are off. His audibles are off. He's off. He can't slide in the
there's
pocket. He is not those guys. He's great, first ballot Hall of Famer, but there's levels to it. He's not Peyton, Brady. I don't even think he's as good as Drew Brees at the second half of his career. Brees could have at least beat you from inside the pocket. He can't.
our
This is
players' heads
depressing.
must be all screwed up too.
Yeah, this is
There probably
depressing,
need
man.
some therapy. The players.
By the way, welcome to Jets therapy this morning.
Yes, sir.
Office, go ahead. What's up?
Morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
Good,
Hope you're
brother.
good.
Good.
Morning.
I need quality
Let
thoughts on y'all's wish list because I got a meeting with Woody later for the GM job. Me and Kika going into his office. So whatever
Great
you
job,
Man,
you
want to
guys did
do,
yesterday.
office,
proclaim your
you may not want
piece
that
now.
job, man. You may not want that job.
I would take that job, brother. I would honestly do it with pride and dignity, to be honest with you. And you know what? I would run the Jets straight up through Jets Commute. I swear to God, I would, yo. I would still come in here every morning and get everybody's thoughts, and I would
By
put
the
that shit
way,
down.
Phil
I
Phil
would do it.
Savage Phil Savage has been in one of my spaces. He has. I've seen him.
Yeah. I would go to where the smart Jets people are, yo. You guys are the people, man. You're the most loyal fans to that team, dude.
That's a
I would
fact.
listen to y'all if I got that job. I promise you I would,
Man,
man.
you're gonna have
I
to. You're
wouldn't
gonna have
try
to.
to run that shit on my own.
You're gonna have to fight the Johnson family, man. It's gonna be the battle of the bastards part two.
Yeah,
It's gonna be. It's
but
gonna be fight for
Office,
power.
Jarek, Office does bring up a good point though, because you don't think all these coaches like Rogers have massive egos. Somebody can think that they can turn this around. There's definitely somebody out there that'll do it. There
Listen,
is.
that's a definite. The problem is some coaches who aren't qualified, who can't do it, are also thinking the same thing. You don't have a lot of
That's true too,
options.
Jude.
You don't have a lot of options, bro. And like I said, as long as Aaron Rodgers is there, coaches with options are not touching this team. They're just not going to do it.
Well, and you can't just shut the door on the people that pay for your product. I firmly believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't shut the door on your consumers. You do listen to them. I'm not saying you jump off the building if they say jump off the building, but you're right, June. Like, you can't just play secret squirrel to that degree. Some of
You
that
can't.
shit you don't put in the public. I get it. Like, they wouldn't even have to pay me that much. A couple million a year, yo, I'll take the job. I'm telling you, I would do great. I think I could really do it, to be honest with you. But it takes a
Yeah,
lot to move a franchise forward. You got a lot of people involved, man. The fans. Isn't it one of the
Hey,
biggest
June.
fan bases?
June, we can get Belichick. All
no,
we got to do is
hell no.
get a nice secretary in there,
you,
and
you
we'll
said-
get him back.
you
What
mean
do you think,
you mean a nice
Petey?
young
Don't
one?
get mad at me.
A
Petey,
nice
don't
young
laugh.
one?
There
I'm
you
not
go.
going to get mad.
A nice young
At this
secretary?
point, people are
There
going to
you go.
say
It worked the
everything.
first time, right? Oh God.
By the way,
Look,
if you're in the space at 9 a.m., Brian Costello will join, so
I'm,
we'll
I
get
mean,
his
Petey.
thoughts.
I mean, Petey. At the same time, wow. You know what? You scheduled this at the right time too. That's funny that you did that. But let me say this: we knew that he wasn't coming back anyway. So I mean, you really can't be surprised. Only thing you can be surprised about is the shit that's coming out right now.
Hey,
It gets
PD, I heard
worse
y'all
and
got a
worse.
new name. I heard y'all got a new name next season.
What's that? Kick a Jets?
No, mm-mm.
What is it?
The the New York
Trippy
Jokes.
Jets?
The New
Trippy
York
Jets?
Jokes.
Oh,
No, the New York
really?
Jokes.
How you doing, man? You thought all morning to come up with that? You've been up for a while, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I could tell, man. It
yeah.
sounds like you didn't sleep. Uh-oh. He went on mute. D-Mac, what up? How you been? Long
No,
time
hey,
no
PD, I got a
talk.
question
Yeah, I
for
know,
you,
right?
PD. Listen to this,
Oh,
PD.
go
I
ahead.
got a question for you, or any Jets fan that can answer this question.
What do you call 20 Jets fans in a basement?
I've never seen this before in my life. Watch.
A wine cellar.
Hey, yo,
That was
she
so
said, what you
funny, bro.
call 20 Jet fans in the basement? A
Did you ask
wine
Al to help
cellar.
you on that? Did
Hey,
you ask
yo.
Al? Is that like an Al generated joke?
No,
Anybody?
it's something on YouTube. You know, when I get bored, I just start watching shit about the Jets and, these
Oh
sorry ass
man,
teams.
that,
But can
that
I
you're
ask
in
y'all a
here
question,
every
though?
day. I appreciate it. What?
All right. If the Ravens had to play the Bills in the playoffs, who y'all think will win?
The streak ends for Lamar.
It
Thanks,
depends
my
where
guy.
it
You see how
is.
quick Petey
If
got
it's
on?
it on it
The streak ends
on
for Lamar.
no,
He gets his
see
third
how
playoff win right there.
see how
I
quick
think the
Petey
Ravens
what
win.
I'll say this: if it's in Buffalo, I think the Bills will win. If it's in Baltimore, I would lean towards the Ravens, but that's like a
Petey, that Derrick
51
Oh, well,
Henry
you know
factor
the
49.
is
game's gonna be
big.
in Buffalo.
That Derrick
Right.
Henry
Well,
factor is
okay.
big.
Yeah, Buck, the Derrick Henry factor, but the difference is we'll have Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano back. Bro, ain't nobody scared of them, bro.
You should
Matt
be.
Milano,
You
who?
should
All
be.
right. I want to
Last
continue
time we
on
had them,
Jets for now.
we had those two healthy.
No offense.
The last time what happened.
Yo,
Hey,
hey,
D-Mac, you might as well put your hand down, bro. You're a Chiefs fan. They not gonna give you a mic, bro.
Good
Yeah,
Ravens
yeah.
face,
Go
Petey.
ahead.
I have a
Start
hey,
Jets
an
related
start
question. I promise. I'm
start.
not. I'm
Yeah.
not. I promise.
Start.
It's a Jets
D
related
Mac's
question.
good, man. Start a narrative kicker. Go ahead. What's up, D Mac?
The
Good
Chiefs
morning, Petey.
trash, and y'all getting swept in the second round.
Damn, D Mac, you've
No
been
three-peat.
interrupted 3 times. You want me to make it 4? Go ahead, D Mac.
No,
What up?
no, 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 no problem. You get it. I understand. Look, we'll talk to kicker when it comes to January. Petey, it was good to see you. Good morning. Has been a bit since we've talked. I
Yep.
promise I'm not coming in here to troll you guys or
I
do
don't,
anything
bro.
like
You're
that.
good, man. You don't have to.
I'm generally
Whoever's been in
good.
spaces for 3 years should already know that. So,
uh,
but
I'm
but but
interested.
but but there's people that still do it, which is pretty whatever. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I don't have as much time as I used to. I did want to ask you guys this question from this standpoint. Obviously, disastrous season, not how you guys wanted coming into this, and everything that pretty much could have gone wrong has gone wrong. I think this is a ride from the top down type of situation. Woody Johnson, it sounds like from everything that's been reported, really took what could have been a mediocre season or did not have a chance for you guys to turn it around, and it made a disastrous one. Obviously, with things going on in the political world, that he might end up going back overseas, and maybe that allows for some different management as far as that is concerned. My question to you guys is, I think that there's a level of changing the culture that probably should happen within that room. We don't know what the GM situation is going to look like. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to hightail it out of here. I don't think he's built for trying to turn this shit around. To be honest with you, I don't think that's in his stomach. Certainly not in New York, in my personal opinion. So my question is, from a coaching standpoint, I know somebody mentioned Bill earlier, but is a guy like Mike Vrabel, a guy like Rex Ryan, I'm not saying necessarily Rex Ryan, but a guy along that ilk that really comes in and sets a culture, a la maybe Jim Harbaugh that you saw did for the Chargers, is that the guy that you guys want? I know there's conversations about if there's going to be a quarterback, offensive head coach, et cetera, but I think that there is something to be said for setting a culture, and I think that'd be important. And I think a guy like Mike Vrabel would be able to do that for you guys, and I think he'd be just fine as far as the New York media is concerned too.
I agree with you with Vrabel. That's who my Mike Vrabel is my number one by far
He's my
choice,
number
and
one
then
too.
yeah, and then to me it's Flores
But
Yep.
but
Hey,
because I
PD.
like his
but
disciplinary.
but but
Go ahead.
but let me say this: I don't think there's a realistic chance of us getting him due to the fact that he's close with Belichick and he's from that tree and they talk and he respects
Bro,
his
he is not
advice.
from that tree, bro.
I
Only
got
thing he
that,
did
Wait,
Juice.
was
wait,
We're gonna
play
wait,
get
for
wait,
that
us,
wait,
bro.
wait,
That's
wait,
all
secretary.
he
wait,
We're gonna
wait,
get
did.
wait,
that
wait, wait,
secretary
wait,
Both
for
wait,
you,
wait,
guys
sir.
wait. What do
are.
you
Both
what are
guys
you talking about?
are.
He's not from that tree. Nigga,
Yeah.
What
No,
like
Well,
no,
well,
no.
he's
I get you
saying
saying he
because
from that
Flores
tree, but
technically
okay,
like
so
coached
why
under
you
he
him
so
and
just
so
Vrabel
so
played
never
so
with us,
did.
so
Is
bro.
so
what he
so
was saying.
pause, let me finish
Yeah,
my
go ahead,
comment
Jim.
real quick.
Yeah, because I wanted to say something after you. My bad.
Okay, so because he's from that tree, at the same time he's gonna have options. I don't think he's gonna. This is gonna be his second, probably last shot at becoming a coach. Because if he gets fired the next time, pretty much you don't get a third opportunity. So why, in my eyes, if I'm him, why would I take this? Why would I take the Jet job? Especially when you
Hey,
got a narrative of a meddling owner, you gonna have to deal with a Asian quarterback. Like it doesn't make any sense.
hey,
To
Dream, why y'all
You
me,
just
talking
don't?
about
Yeah,
Vrabel?
yeah,
yeah,
it
Hey,
doesn't
Dream
make
and
any
to
sense.
PD, why y'all just don't do the 3-in-1 special, the 3-for-1 special?
What's that?
What? Have a coach, GM, and
The
whatever?
quarterback. Hello, Aaron Rodgers. He already the GM. I mean, make him the head coach.
No, come
So,
on, man.
so
He
June,
ain't. That,
to your question about Vrabel, I think to me the Belichick factor is not really a massive thing. I think the bigger thing is the quarterback situation. And again, if you are moving off from Aaron Rodgers, which A, I think you should, and B, I think he's going to make easy for you, but we'll see what ends up happening. Then it's like, okay, are you bringing in a guy that's going to be a bridge starter? Are you bringing in a guy that's going to end up being a reclamation project? Are you bringing in a guy that's a young quarterback, etc.? To
Hmm.
me, that situation that's up in the air is going to be way more a determining factor to any quarter or any coach that wants to come in here, let alone obviously a guy that's established like Vrabel that has a track record of success.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this question, D Mac. If you're Vrabel and you got the Jacksonville job, you have your options of the Jacksonville job or the Jet job. Which one are you taking?
It matters a lot who the GM is. I will certainly say that first and foremost, but those are factors you can't control right now. I will be honest with you. I would rather hitch my wagon to Trevor Lawrence at quarterback and then move on. Now,
Exactly.
again, I'm not the biggest. I know everybody's not the biggest believer in Trevor Lawrence, but personally, I still think there's a lot of talent there. But I would prefer to have that situation settled and move on
D
well,
from
Mac,
there.
you're
yeah.
right. You're right. I would
And
too.
what if June? What if the Jets do a reclamation project? Just say, Justin Fields is out. Who knows, bro? Somebody may get. You never know.
And it's worth
Somebody.
saying
Sam Darnold turned his career
it's worth
around.
saying
I'm just
Get
he's
saying.
ready
not
for
a
McCarthy.
Vrabel did it with Tannehill.
Oh gosh.
He's
Flores
right.
has
Then Rogers is staying.
Flores was perfectly fine operating with a veteran quarterback over necessary two at times. So it's not necessarily that these guys are scared of those situations. But again, when you're talking about preferences, those things do matter. But
right?
again, I don't think it's as
Yeah.
desperate as other people are probably going to make it out to be once Rodgers leaves, because you guys have young talent on the roster. You guys have talent, that can really perform if you have the right coach, in my personal opinion, with the right culture. And I do think you have enough draft picks as well, because you guys have, something in the stable as
Hey,
well.
D Mac.
Yeah, what's up, Kicker?
Hey, D man, let me tell you something, right? What if I tell you that some of these Jet fans want to get rid of some of them young pieces like a Garrett Wilson, Brace Hall, Sauce Gardner? Because I
Kicker,
mean, I
you're
agree with
trying
you
to
just
run
said.
out your own guy. Kicker, you're trying to run out your own guy that does a
I
podcast. Who you kidding?
I don't
Yeah.
think
Bro,
that.
I don't fuck with him,
I
bro. So
don't
it don't
I
matter.
don't
At the end of the day, he gonna
Still,
be
you
off the
want to
Ravens,
get
and I'm
rid of.
still gonna be a Ravens fan.
Yeah.
I
So who
doubt that they
cares
want to
about
get rid
that,
of those
man?
guys. I think they want to see them perform up to the standards that they've seen those guys perform to later on
Hey,
before.
Petey, let me hold up, Petey. See, this where you
Yes.
this where you rub me the wrong way.
Good. This is
Pause,
where I
right?
what?
Every
Go
time
ahead.
I give my
Yeah.
opinion,
Pause.
bro, you
Definitely.
get so upset, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I
Oh,
blame. Listen, I ain't
upset.
gonna lie. Hold up, Petey. I blame you.
You could
You're the
blame
reason
Woody
why the Jets
Johnson.
are trash.
Blame Woody
Hey,
Johnson. Oh
Jets. Listen,
yeah.
Hey
Bring it.
Jets fans,
Yeah.
listen
I'm
to
the
me,
kiss.
y'all. If y'all
I'm the
want to
kiss of
win
death.
the new head coach and the new GM and whoever else, the quarterback, please do not let Petey take a picture with him, please.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm so
It's
important,
your
Kicker.
bad
Thank you for
luck,
Wait,
paying
wait,
man.
wait,
attention.
wait, 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 wait,
Here
wait,
we
wait.
go.
Wait,
Wait, June, I'm going to give her. That's the. Thank you. Thank you
wait,
so much.
AP, can I please say one thing real quick, real
Yeah.
fast? You know, we do this space every day to have fun and sit here and talk ball with people. We like to talk ball. So all this, and real quick, just making posts about the host or the co-host and all that extra stuff, it's not going to be tolerated. And you do that, and you come inside, I'm throwing you out. I'm telling you, I'm doing it. You could be mad at me and do it all day. I'm built for it. We could do it. But all this sitting there doing that, we're not doing that no more in this space. If you don't like us, then don't come in. Simple.
Yep.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I know that wasn't to me because I ain't gonna
No,
lie.
no, no,
Regardless,
no.
I'm
We're not
still gonna
talking. No,
talk
no.
my shit.
It's it, bro. You know, come on.
All right.
Yeah,
I got
if
you.
you,
Kicker,
I'll address who it
kicker,
is.
me,
If
Kicker, me and you are good. You
come
know
on.
that.
Yeah.
This is all a show for you, and I feed into your show. How about that? I'll admit that.
Kick on the
I like it.
contrary,
It's fun.
people were thrown out because they said you can't formulate two fucking sentences. Then they were thrown the fuck out. So
Oh, you no. Hey, bro, guess what? I wasn't gonna bring that up. I heard the thing, bro. But see, you gotta understand, right? I don't pay people like that no mind, bro. Like, okay, I can't complete a sentence. Wow. Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah.
Like, the fuck?
All right. Well, let's
What?
move on from that. I'm speaking for me. We don't do
We
that
don't
in
do
here.
that in here.
So
And
We don't talk
and
about
and
nobody. We don't
so
do none of
and
that.
I can
We just want to
appreciate
talk
that I
ball
can come in here and talk ball with you guys about the Jets. But it was good talking to you, Drew. Good talking to you, Petey. Hope y'all enjoy
all
y'all
day,
day,
D
man.
Mac. You know that all day.
yeah. But Buckeye, can you help until
yeah, go
because I
for it.
want to give
Go for it.
Brian the. I'm going to bring Brian up in that form a
Go for
little
it. Because I'm
later
gonna
if you don't
remove
mind.
leash
All
on as
right.
soon as I get that mic.
Hey, Pete, if you need some help, I can help you out.
You would love that. You know what? Hey, maybe next year. Maybe next year
You
when we go to the
play to
bank,
win the
you could
game.
help. All right, Kicker. Let me get the cards.
Hello? Morning,
What's
Petey.
going
You
on,
play
Hogs?
to
What's up,
win the
Parks?
game. Oh, guys. You don't play to just. Yeah. This is rock bottom, guys. I
I
think we can
agree.
all. I think we can all admit to that at this point here
Yeah.
now. Um, if even if half of that athletic article is true, if half of it is true, this organization is fundamentally inept. It absolutely is. What general manager? Let me rephrase. What decent general manager and also head coaching candidate is going to want to come to an organization where even though the owner pays you to run the team, he's going to run the
Right.
team. Guys, I can't understate this enough. The New York Jets are the laughing stock of the NFL.
Yes, they are.
It is. This is. I listen. I'm 35 years old. I have been. I know there's people here that are older than me, people that are younger than me, who have seen different moments with this team over the last 35 years. This is rock bottom. As a Jets fan right now, I have no confidence in this organization at all. None. There is none. And on top of that, and I know Peter, you and I have discussed this here a little bit. Will the Johnsons, both Woody and or Chris, depending upon the uh, Trump situation, will they ever take a step back? The answer is no. They will not. That goes for Woody, and Chris has learned from Woody. So I gotta tell you guys, I have no confidence right now. This is absolutely rock bottom, and I don't know how this improves. I just don't.
Cards. I'm in the store. The deli. My bad. I agree with you, Hogs, but somebody's gonna come here. You could say why this? Why do Hogs? Can I ask you a question? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Why do we continue to root for this team?
Because we have brain damage, Petey. We have brain damage. We just do. I listen. I'm not saying I will always root for this team. I have a son coming in January. He's gonna be a Jets fan. I'm sorry, kid, but you're gonna be relegated to this. Welcome to the club. But I just don't know. I don't know how this looks in a good spot right now. I
Man, let that
absolutely
little
don't.
boy grow up and
The
pick his
the
own
the this
team,
team is
man.
a laughing stock. They just are.
I hear
So,
you.
bro, so if they a laughing stock, right? Just hit me out, right? And you say your son born, congrats on being a father, right? If they a laughing stock, why would you want your son go through that? Imagine your son going to school, right? And all the kids
You
got
guys there?
the Bills,
Yeah.
the Chiefs, and the
So
Ravens
kick it,
jersey on,
drop,
and
and
your
come
son
back.
pull
He
up with the
can't hear
Jets
you.
jersey, and they just making fun of him because the
Yeah, I
father.
heard you and June, Petey, but that was pretty much it.
Hey, Kicker, you got to
No, you
drop
heard
and
what I
come
Kicker,
back.
said.
he can't hear you.
Oh my
No,
God.
you heard what I said. Everybody else heard me because why I'm getting laughing emojis. Hello.
And I tell you, June, we said to blow it up. It's blown up.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Hey,
That's
Who
why
was
I'm
next?
not. I'm
Niners
not that
Yo,
Mac?
sad.
Kicker, you do know.
I'm loving
Kicker,
it.
Kicker, you do know. Wait. You do know the laughing emojis
Are delayed.
from the listener sections are like delayed by
More
like
tricky?
20,
Or this
30
one?
seconds. So
Petey, my question is, who's giving Diana Rossini all this news? Because like, she has more shit on the Jets than any reporter I've ever met.
It's
Like
Joe
who's
Douglas. Joe Douglas is
Yeah.
look. Once that person is fired,
they
the
just
best thing they could
tell
do is
them?
go run in media to try to clear their name for
Hey,
their next job.
Joe Douglas, he's an undercover agent, man. He's an undercover agent that has to expose it all. I don't blame him.
Hey, one quick point though, and I'll drop. I like listening to Jet Spaces when it's not a Niner space. Y'all spaces are pretty entertaining, but maybe just because you guys are in the news cycle a lot. But like I heard y'all mention Vrabel and Belichick. Like, aren't both of those two coaches that are kind of known for wanting some control of personnel? Like, why would they want
Yes.
to come to the Jets based on that article if any of that's true?
Look, I'm with you on it. I said the same thing. Like it doesn't make sense. And besides that, Belichick can't stand Woody, and Woody can't stand Belichick. So that's
I
not gonna
think
happen.
Vrabel's the same way.
Yeah.
And you remember the AJ
You okay?
Brown thing when the GM finally got his way and they traded AJ Brown. What happened? Braves is out the next year.
If you ask me, it's going to be someone that has more of a problem than a home. So I think that's why I keep saying McCarthy. I honestly think Doug Peterson's name can come into this thing. He's going to get probably
Yeah.
fired.
What
Hey,
about Nagy? What about Nagy?
Get Nagy's
apparently
Nagy's
Kyle Shanahan's
possible.
on
Look, I don't think Woody would
Shanahan's
do
on
it
the
with
hot
Flores,
seat
but
apparently.
Flores is the type of. I just don't think we're going to get the guys that every other team wants. That I can't see it.
Well, that's why I
Well,
say the second or third tier coach will be the Jets coach. I promise you. Won't be a first
if
tier.
If you
if
ask
you
me
guys keep
favorites, it's McCarthy and Peterson. I don't want either one, but that's the favorites in my opinion.
hey on the Niners streets, apparently if we missed the playoffs, people are calling for Shanahan to get fired. I bet Woody would hire him tomorrow. Shanahan.
I would trade a 1+ for that dude.
4 first-round picks.
I'm gonna
Done.
have to double my salary request as GM. I think I'm gonna have to do a lot of work.
Let's get to Brian real quick. He had his hand up for a while. What's up, Brian? Good morning.
Good morning, June. Good morning, Petey. If I said before the season that you guys were coach after week 5, You're going to get Adams. You're going to fire your general manager. You're going to demote your offensive coordinator. You are not going to stack wins. You're going to actually stack losses, including losses to Denver, New England. Would you actually even believe? That's my first question.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Right. It would be unthinkable, right? So I
But
will ask you
Brian,
guys.
nobody thought this. Nobody
I
thought this,
understand.
Brian.
I
Not even
understand. So
you.
not even me. Here's my question. So
Jim,
we're fasting, approaching Christmas, right? So what is the worst? What is the worst ghost for the Jets? Ghost of future past, ghost of future present, or ghost of future of the future?
I don't know.
What do you? 'Cause you
How about
right,
Back to the
exactly.
Future?
Back to back to the future. What do you got? Look, my personal opinion: Aaron Rodgers is gone. He's gone. The writing was on the wall yesterday. He's going to bow out. They're going to take the hit, the $14 million cap hit. He's too much
No,
of an
it's more than
egomaniac.
that.
He's too much of an ego next day around in this in this trash fire. I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see the guy staying around. I think he's going to retire early. That's my take. So I just this is more drama than you can ever imagine from Hard Knocks. I mean, it's just I don't think any Hollywood writer script like
I
this.
said, if I'm Garrett's agent, I am getting the trumpets ready right now. I'm about to start making the most noise right now.
Incredible.
Yep. Tom Ford, I'll get you up. Guys, I got to rotate people. Don't take it personal, please.
You can put me down.
All right, Chris, what's going on, brother? Good morning.
Good morning, June. Good morning, Buckeye, and especially to my brother Petey. Good morning.
Yo.
What's good? Can you hear me good? Can you hear me
Of
well?
course, Chris, I hear you loud and clear.
Good, brother.
Shout out my man Chris, the realest Jets fan on this app right now, man. Keep it real, Chris.
My brother Kicker, I always appreciate you, my man. First and foremost, to everybody, speakers, listeners, I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care of yourselves as you go about your day. Best to you and your families. Petey, there was a gentleman in here. I don't know if he's still in speaker, but I heard him bring up the term rock bottom. Ooh,
Rock bottom. Man, we are.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I saw a tweet that I quote tweeted. Frankie V said something about rock bottom. Woo! Do you remember the time? Pause. All right, Petey. Petey could possibly tell. Petey, hold on. I know because I know you got a lot of people. I know, and I'm
No,
gonna
it's
drop
not
out
about that. It's below the ocean, bro. It's beyond rock bottom. It's below the sand at the bottom of the ocean or whatever the fuck's down there. Go ahead.
You are below sea level.
Ladies and
Way
gentlemen,
below
That
sea
would be
level.
the
We
abyss.
for
haven't even
those
hit
of
the
y'all
bottom
who
of
are
this year
here,
yet.
I promise y'all. Pause. I'm gonna get out the way. But Petey, I could have sworn we had a conversation. You, me, Long Beach Joe.
Yeah.
Do you
I
remember
thought it
the
was
time?
Yes, I thought it was the Patriot game.
Yeah, but my brother, listen, we gonna talk again. I'm gonna get out the way. Everybody have a great day. Take care of yourselves.
Chris, thanks. Did we lose you?
No,
Did we
play
lose
Tom Ford
people?
music.
No, he's next. I have it ready though.
Hey,
Jim.
Petey, I
No,
just came
Jim
up to
is
post something
next.
in the jumbo and I'm gonna go back down. Just don't delete it though. I want y'all to see something.
Okay.
Jim and then Tom. Jim, what's up, brother?
What's up, my man? Good morning, motherfuckers.
Jim,
I like that.
I
There's
need
one
an
guy
epic
again.
rant.
So I missed the first half hour. Sorry, Petey. Reading the room. Are we bashing Johnson today to know tomorrow? Is that what we're doing? Just
It's been a little bit. It's been both though.
okay.
It's kind of Jim, it's kind of depressing. Like It's bad,
All right.
man. This is
Well,
beyond bad. But go ahead.
let me give you my take. I have no problem with what Johnson did. I'm actually fucking. I'm actually proud of the guy to fucking say, do we bench Rodgers? And that kills the narrative that everybody says Aaron Rodgers is running the team. Oh, really? Is he now? Well, when the owner says, do we bench this guy after seeing this team not score a fucking touchdown, which in today's NFL, when you can't score a touchdown in an NFL game, that's fucking beyond pitiful. And the Jets have done it twice this year so far with 7 games left.
Hmm.
So, you know what? And Rossini was on with on ESPN radio this morning, talking about her article. And Johnson hasn't meddled until now. And she basically said, and you can bash him and write the article and whatever, this, that, and the other thing. He got so fucking fed up of giving these guys everything they wanted. Joe Douglas got 6 years, almost 6 years. Sal had 4. They said we're a quarterback away. Got him a quarterback. Got the quarterback everything he wanted. And the results are fucking bullshit. So as an owner, look at us Jet fans, we fucking wig out. Imagine being the owner and spending millions of dollars and fucking giving these guys everything they want. And the result is fucking 10-9 against the Broncos. So you know what? Rossini just basically said he was fed up. He had enough. He brought in all these guys and said, what the fuck, guys? So you know what? I want that as an owner. He didn't meddle until just now when he said he can't fucking take it anymore.
Jim,
I'm
it's Joe D's fault. I agree with you on this, but can I ask you a question? You're a GM for a day, right? I tell you, I
okay.
got if the truth is, you got to fire the coach. You got to bench Tyrod. You got to sign Devontae Adams, and I'm gonna get Reddick in, and you're just in the room. Thoughts on that? As you're the GM, is that all of it? All of it. I'm gonna get Adams. I'm gonna bench Rodgers. I'm gonna get Reddick in here, and I'm gonna fire the head coach.
Well, you know what? The head coach deserves to be fired.
Cool.
He blocked the
Um,
Reddick extension. He
Hold on a
Now I'm
blocked
second.
it.
moving to
So,
Tyrod and
to,
bringing in
to,
Devontae. Talk to me.
okay, so to answer your question, the Salah should have been fired, and we know that his staff is even worse than what he was. He didn't say I'm benching Rodgers. He brought it up, and you know what? Kudos to him to say, guys, what are we doing? This is what the quarterback is going to do. So he brought it up. They talked him off the ledge and said, no, you can't do that because you're going to hurt his feelings and the guys in the locker room. But kudos to the owner to sit there in his owner's box and say, what in the fuck am I watching? This is fucking
But Jim,
disgusting.
if
So,
Dolan told you how to guard the pick and roll playing the Celtics, like, do you
no,
want
no,
Dolan? Do you want
listen,
Dolan in that shit?
if you're the owner and you see all this shit again as Jeff fans, we're fucking livid, right? Watching, we came and score a touchdown. Well, imagine being the owner after 6 years and giving these guys everything and listening to everything they did. Yeah, eventually you fucking snap, and he snapped. Diana Rossini just basically said it. He fucking said, "Fuck this. I'm gonna fucking do the couple things that I want to fucking do." You know what? He was right in fucking huff, not in fucking signing him. So everyone wants to kill Woody and kill Woody. I'm not.
So one
I'm
more
not. I
question.
actually,
You're a hot
yeah.
GM.
But would you execute the move, sir? That was the question. Would you execute the move as a GM? What would you do? That was the
You
question, sir.
No, Joe Douglas's his answer was, "I'm at the mercy of the owner," or whatever the hell he said. Yeah,
He
you're
asked
dead
for
man
your
walking.
well, yeah.
answer,
Would you
sir.
would you would you resign Huff? Would you
If
have
I'm no no,
extended?
if I'm the GM, I know I'm dead man walking, just like Joe Douglas did. The
Yeah.
writing's on the wall. You can't
I
listen
I I don't know. I think the
when
crazy part about that thing was the Reddick thing. Like you traded for Reddick and you blocked the extension when he was
when
willing to take less money for the extension.
I'm just listen. Everybody's gonna again kill him and Woody and this
Jim,
and
would
that.
you take the job?
Yes,
No, I'm not.
yep,
I'm asking you if you were a GM in football, and this could
yes,
be your last job in the NFL. Do you hitch your
yes,
wagon to Woody?
yeah,
God bless you, brother.
because,
God bless
yeah,
you. Hopefully, there's more people that think like you do, because I
because
don't think there is. And I'm not taking knock at
because
I
Jim.
don't either.
well, I'm going to say why though. Again, Woody was never a meddler
Do,
until
do you believe in
just
Do you
now.
believe in
So
Bill Belichick and his what he's done?
As a coach, yeah. As a GM, he's not fucking good.
Great, but as a coach and a voice of the NFL, he's got merit, right?
Yeah, well, hold on a second, right? You brought up Belichick. What was the succession plan with Woody when Parcells? What was the succession
That
plan?
he was going to take over.
Okay, and what
He
happened?
split. He's like, fuck this guy, but he's still to this
No,
day.
no, 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 no. He wasn't. No, it wasn't. I know they could. I know you could fucking blame Woody, but he didn't know fucking Woody from a hole in the head. Really, he was just so Woody had the succession plan in place. This fucking prick said, "I don't want to." Either was getting out of Parcells' shadow, or maybe he didn't know what the fucking ownership was, and maybe he didn't know. This is a fuck. I can't do this with new owners and whatever. But the
Hey,
Jets had the
But
succession
there's
plan in
something
place.
about
hey,
Woody
hey,
that
hey,
Belichick
hey,
from the
Jim.
get said, I am
Yeah,
not
I
doing
got
anything with that dude. And he to this day talks about him that he's
kicks his
the
back in
worst.
every chance.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you know
So
what?
now,
You know what's funny? Here's my take on the Belichick thing. I would love somebody in the media to say, "What the fuck is your problem with Woody Johnson?" Because he had the head coaching job, right? And the Johnson could have. I don't know if he had a contract like for 3 or 4 years. Woody Johnson could have said, "You know what? You're gonna retire on. You're gonna quit on a napkin. I have your rights, bro. You're not gonna coach nothing. I don't need to trade you. I don't have to trade you." He did the right
But Jim,
thing
we know what the
by
problem is,
trading
right?
him.
You saw when Matt Rule was in an interview and they were like, but you got to take this guy and you got to do this and you got
Yeah,
to
where's Matt Rule? Where's Matt Rule?
right.
Maybe he was right on
Well,
that.
where's Bill Belichick? What happened after he rejected and left the room? What happened with him after that?
Again,
No, you
I
got to
get
take
it,
both
but
sides. If you're
no,
going
no,
to take the Matt
no.
Rule, you got to
Listen,
tell me what Belichick's done.
I know what Belichick's done. You know what
So
Belichick's done.
the better
My
guy left the
point
room,
is,
and the worst guy still owns the team.
but my point is, he had the succession plan in place. You didn't foresee. No one foresaw that he was gonna fucking quit.
No,
Yeah,
No one had that.
guys, real quick, because I have Brian Costello coming on at 9 o'clock. Jim, you could be gladly up here. There's 4 hands up. We
sorry,
got
Pete.
10 minutes until the guest. No, it's all right. I want to get
I'm just
Tom
saying.
Ford in. Let me just play
My
this for Tom,
my
Jim. Hold
my
on.
point. My point is, I'm not killing Woody. I'm not.
All right, you're defending him. I'm shocked, Jim. But
Listen,
I'm not.
he's
I'm,
been right.
and it's crazy as it may sound. I'm not mad at him either. Really,
okay,
not this time. Not this time. I'm
June,
not mad.
Thank you.
June.
Thank you.
This is for Tom Ford. Tom Ford. Woo! Coming up, coming down. What's up, Tom Ford?
Now, good morning, Petey. Morning, June, and good morning, Buckeye. How y'all fellas
Good
doing?
morning, Tom.
Otherwise, this morning.
Good.
All right, so obviously with the space, everything I knew waking up this morning, what it would be like, because I saw the article, because I have the Athletic just like most of us do as well. And even half of that's true, it's scary. Now, I have a lot of relatives that are fans of the other New York team that are struggling, to say the least, the Giants. And I remember all the stories all the way back regarding to the point it's a myth. When NFL, the league, actually kind of intervened and forced a GM on the Giants because they had such beef or whatever. Do you think at this point maybe we should be begging, since we know Woody listens to Spaces and goes on social media, and say, league, intervene, give me the guy to hire to turn this thing around? Because the drought now of the playoffs is the same as the Giants was before they got George Young way back in the day. I never thought I would be praising with the Giants part on that. I didn't think at 39 I feel as low as I did when I was 10, 11 years old back in fifth freaking grade on Cotites 1 and 15 and then 3 and 13. But here we freaking are. I mean, I haven't heard much thought on that, but I'm just surprised. I just know our fans, we're creative around here. We had to fire Izdick, banner. I'm shocked there's not been a sell the team Woody banner quite yet flying over one Jets drive. You know? Like, to me, I'm easygoing. I'm very easygoing, especially in my job. If I'm usually speaking when anger, that means shit is fucked. And this is a fan, bottom. I think the Mariana Trench, I think the Jets are close to finding the bottom of that freaking trench that there's no bottom of right now at this point. That's where we're at. And that's the sad part. And look, Pete, I know we got Costello. I hope some people come with good questions for him if he allows Q&A, like your other guests do. And I'll say this for me personally, just like Buckeye, thank God for college football. You got Ohio State. Me, I actually got Army West Point, I'm going to be enjoying that game on Saturday at Yankee Stadium with Notre Dame. So go Army on that part, especially on the bye week, since the Jets even managed to lose the bye week. So I'll step down since there's other hands.
Jarek and I root for the
Thanks, Tom.
Buckeyes, right, Jarek?
Yeah, Costello will answer questions for sure. I think it's Emerson for Neek. Just give me 1 second because Emerson never comes in, and Neek, you have the floor for more than 5 minutes. Go ahead, Emerson.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I don't
What's
need
up?
I don't need the music, but I'm gonna say, remember the time when I was up here bashing the owner, and I was told to be quiet. Now everyone is on the train. Like, the one thing that's constant is that full. We will never win as long as he's the owner. I don't care. I don't care what you think. We will never win as long as he's the owner. It sucks. I see you laughing, Lishan, but I think it's true. I think it's true. The idea that he never meddles is ridiculous. I mean, who was it who hired the coach before they hired the GM? Who was it who had the structure of you report to me and they report? It just doesn't make
Facts.
any
Facts.
sense, any sense. And I'm just praying that there's he's sleeping with some girls on the side or something. You know,
He had McCagnon run the whole draft, spend the entire cap, and then fired him.
it doesn't make any sense. So there's no
No.
there's no reason to believe that man is gonna right the ship, because
He went to Peyton Manning and asked, "What should I do?"
and hey, you're a champion.
Oh, man.
Yo, Emerson, good points there.
All right, I'm gonna drop. That's all I wanted to say. I just
How you been, all right?
I just remember just being jumped on, and now everyone is like, "Yeah, we sell the team." I was
Well, I don't think they're going to sell the team.
Of course
I don't.
not. Like, I mean, if you're making money hand over fist and have and you don't really care that you have a winning product, I mean, why would you sell the team? All I do has to do is roll over. He's gonna make money. People still gonna go to the games. I mean, honestly, if people stop buying tickets, that'd probably be the only thing that.
Yeah, but bro, they're still making a fortune. It's not going to matter. The NFL, they did fine, and yeah, they probably lost. Sorry that billionaires lost a couple of $1 million. Wow, does it really make a difference? You know what I'm saying?
We need a strike.
Well, I don't think it's happening. And then,
it's not going to happen. I'm being sarcastic.
Emerson, this is what gets me, and this is not what you're saying, but just in general, the fact that people say don't buy tickets. And then you're a fan of the team, and you see that you're going to get angry, man.
I'm with Chris. I have 1 foot in the door and 1 foot ready to leave because, I'm a grown man. We haven't won shit. I'm not gonna be like these, no disrespect, but like these people in their 60s hoping that they're gonna win something. I'm not gonna waste my life. Like I'm not gonna do that. So we need to fix this, or I'm gonna go follow my college football coach over at the Bolts. Like, football's supposed to be fun. This isn't a test of my loyal, like of me being loyal. This is supposed to be fun. This is miserable.
It is.
June, let's start a Get Joe Brady movement.
and Buckeye,
I'm telling you,
Buckeye, hold on 1 second. Buckeye, you better hope Ohio State is going to win this year, because you spent all that money and you guys look shaky.
I was thinking that you were going to suggest. I was wondering if you were going to suggest that the Jets start stealing signs to turn this around, because I think that's a proven commodity.
Oh, you've been doing that.
You got to steal some signs and then you just run out of college.
We can forget the Ohio State winning a national championship. That's done.
Wait. We got one more here before our guests go.
Yo, June, I got something for somebody in the listener section too. Neat, go ahead.
I'll drop.
Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Oh, Nick, you sound like you're tired. I'm sorry. Is tired or sad?
Woody's a piece of fucking shit.
That's my girl. Go ahead. Give it to him.
Nick, it's time for you to, There's one
Yeah.
team in New York, man. You can still jump on the ship. We're waiting.
Nah, if I jump on a ship, I'm going to Philly. Fuck this. No, but I mean, I call bullshit on that whole 2-2. You can't tell me that the first game that was a bad game for that man. Now all of a sudden, oh my god, I'm fed up. You're
Neat,
not fed up.
Neat. Can I just Neat? Can I just do one thing
What?
real quick? This is for Hexagon. Hexagon, I'm gonna do this every day to you now. Where are you at, huh? Listen to this clip, Neek. If you're older people, you know this. Older people, I need everybody to just mute. I'll get arrested. Hey, shoot! Shut up. Hey, Hexagon! Hexagon, where are you? Hey! Sorry, Neek, go ahead. I had to do that to Hexagon. He's missing. He's here.
But you so concerned about this so-called first bad game when he got 22 times, but you're not concerned about the kid miss how many kicks in that game?
Yeah, I mean, I just think there's so much stuff going on, Neek. I didn't know where he begins.
I think
I
he's
have
trying to
no
clean
idea.
that because he using Rogers and a lot of other people as a scapegoat. I think Salah, Douglas, and Rogers need to write a fucking book. Tell it all.
Mm.
Yeah, it'll be shit you don't even know.
Well,
It's very depressing.
I promise you this. Once he is finally released, everything's gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's gonna go on McAfee and tell it.
And some of them
Oh,
players, I hope they watch their.
that's a fact
That's a
that
fact.
he's
He's
going to
gonna
go on
tell it.
McAfee and tell it
He's
because
gonna definitely
they're
tell
all about the ratings and all that. Bobby,
it. Of course.
Bobby, just real quick, and then I got a guest coming in.
Morning, BD. I hope everybody's well. And I agree
So
with what Everton was saying. Peter, I'm a Giants fan, but I feel like the Giants and the Jets are in the same boat. But I feel like the Jets are at the front of the bow. My Giants are at the stern. You guys need to get the right general manager, the right GM that gets his right coach, the right coaches in, and the Jets can turn this ship around for themselves very quickly. It's not going to be a long rebuild for the Jets if Woody Johnson doesn't put his nose into the hole to try to, screw everything up. But you
Mm.
Jets fans should be looking forward to your next general manager who knows how to get his guys, knows football, knows a way around a draft board, and knows a way around the planes and gets the right guy in. My Giants, on the other hand, we're stuck with a coach and a GM that don't know how to know their left from their right or their toes from their feet. If you know what I mean. Other than that, your Jets are fine. You just need to get the right guy in charge, and hopefully Woody does it. But I don't trust Woody as far as I can throw him as a Giants fan. I think he needs to sell the organization. Woody's starting to really remind me of our former owners of the Mets, there, PD, and
nah, yeah, but he's not
in the
cheap.
coupons.
Nah,
Well,
I'm
not
never
cheap.
comparing
He hasn't
anybody.
won anything in how many years?
Okay, I mean, I'm not comparing Woody Johnson to the Wilpons. I'm sorry.
Well, he's starting to look like the Wilpon. I mean, the coupons. I wonder if they're close friends. If you know what I mean.
Who
But
knows?
other than that, I'm gonna mute myself. I'll hop down so the other guy can come up.
All right, thanks, Bobby. Good to hear from you. Give me a second here. Let me get Brian up here. All right. If you're just tuning in, Brian Costello has now joined. So we'll get into this. Brian, I sent you an invite to speak. All right, you could talk, Brian. Who's everything?
All right.
Hey,
Hey guys.
Brian, can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Brian, good morning. Thank you. First of all, thanks on such short notice. I appreciate you very much, man.
No problem.
Oh, what a day, huh, Brian? I mean, the bye week, everybody. Brian, it's funny. I reached out to you the other day and I'm talking about, hey, maybe next week, not on Thanksgiving, obviously. And now this, man. Is there ever a dull moment with this franchise?
No, there's not. I'm wondering what the next 6 weeks will bring, but yeah, it's been um, probably the most eventful season I've ever covered, and I've covered some doozies, but this one takes the cake, I think.
Now, you want now?
What's that?
There you are. Okay.
You hear
We
me?
lost. Yeah,
Okay.
now I can. So, Brian, okay. So, what's your thoughts on this whole? I mean, I don't know if you can comment on the Athletic article or give me your thoughts on all this, Brian, because this just seems like it's a total mess. It was dysfunction, like they reported in the off season, and now all this stuff. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to comment on somebody else's reporting, Pete. But I've heard some of that stuff that was in the article. The hard part is when you're not in a room and you're talking to people about what was said. Different people in that room had different perceptions of stuff. I'm talking about the Aaron benching part of it. Some people I've spoken to had the perception as they wrote it that Woody wanted him benched. Other people felt Woody was just kind of being like provocative almost, of saying like, what are you guys going to do if he doesn't play well? Would you consider benching him? How are you going to handle this? Like throwing out situations type of thing. So, it's hard to know what the truth is when you're not in that room and people have different perceptions. I would say though, like if he really wanted him benched, I think he would have been benched. Maybe not at that point, but at some point, we're here now, nearly 2 months later, and he's still taking every snap this season, other than a few in the San Francisco game. So, if Woody Johnson, the owner of the team, said bench Aaron Rodgers to let's say not even that time, but to Ulbrich, I think he would have been benched. So I'm not sure how much that was a demand and how much of it was just kind of a part of the conversation that day. So look, it's not good. I'm not pretending like it's a good situation. The team needs a complete and total reset, and that's what's coming.
So, Brian, you think there's no possibility of Rodgers being here next year whatsoever?
You never say never, Pete, because crazy things can happen, and maybe like Mike McCarthy is the head coach or something. I don't know. Like there could be some scenario I'm not seeing. Like, so I won't ever say never, but like it's hard to envision it, right? Because is Aaron Rodgers going to want to learn a new offense? I can't see that. Like that's why Nate Hackett was here, right? It was like, oh, we got to bring Nate Hackett in so that Rodgers has his offense, and obviously he's a guy who likes the comforts of what he knows at 40 years old. That's why Devontae Adams is here. That's why Alan Lazard is here. So it's hard for me to see a situation where there's a new coach and GM coming in, and Rodgers is like, "Yeah, let's go. I'm going to learn a new offense for 1 year," like because nobody sees this going beyond next year. So it doesn't compute with me. So I'd say there's I give everything a 1% chance, Pete. So I'd say there's a 1% chance he'd be back next year in some scenario I'm not seeing right now.
Wow. Well, Brian, yesterday when I thought about this, I put it up above you in the jumbotron. If you, I don't know if you know what the jumbotron is on the spaces. The new GM has to hire a new coach, keep or cut Rodgers, 5th-year option for JJ, trade or keep Devontae, extend the 2022 picks, get creative. What else is there, Brian? Is there like what do you do? Like do fans now want to trade Sauce Gardner? Like people think this guy. I don't. Brian, he doesn't stink. By the way, I just think. Do you think Sauce is?
Here's an interesting thing, Pete. I covered baseball before I covered football, and in baseball there's the batting average, or there's now OPS is more common than batting average. But when I was a kid, it was batting average, and there's years when guys have a bad batting average. It happens, right? I covered the Yankees for a while. There was a year Jeter opened up the season, he couldn't hit for like the whole month of April. And Like guys have bad seasons, and Sauce is having a bad season. I don't think that means he's a bad player. I would expect him to bounce back. It might not happen this year because like this year just feels off the rails at this point. But he's a good player. Now, in terms of trading, I do think trading anyone is on the table at this point because if you're the new GM and you come in and you do want to speed up the process and you're looking at like how can I get more draft picks, that's the way to do it is to trade one of the young players, and whether that's Sauce or Garrett or Brees, you could get a package of picks for that, but you're giving up a good player. Like there's no doubt about it. But the Jamal situation was obviously a little different in terms of he wanted a contract and he was stomping and kicking his feet. But that's what Joe Douglas did. Basically, was Jamal was a good player at the time. There's no doubt about it. He traded a good player, and he got 2 first-round picks for him. So, that's I wouldn't rule anything. I'm not ruling anything out at this point, Pete, because I think. I think this is going to be a painful 2025 for the Jets, and I think it's going to be tough to rebuild, and so you got to consider everything right now.
Well, June, I want you to jump in on that. June's here, Brian, and June and I've been going at it with June about he's been saying tear it down for like the past 5-6 weeks, but June, why don't you jump in here?
Thanks for joining us, Brian.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Quick question. I want to know what you think. On the list of potential job openings, how low do you see the Jets on this list?
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you got to kind of figure out who the openings are going to be right now. But I think it's going to be low. They don't have a quarterback, right? So like if Chicago fires Matt Eberflus, you're walking in there with the number 1 pick from a year ago, like Caleb Williams, right? So that's an attractive job. Cincinnati, yeah. God, if Cincinnati fires a coach, yeah, you've got Joe Burrow. Like I think, like to me, guys, like I've had this conversation a few times in the last 24 hours because obviously there's a lot of blame being put on Woody Johnson, and I understand it. The key to the whole thing is the freaking quarterback. Like this is not hard to figure out. Like don't overthink it. Woody will look like a much better owner if the Jets get a good quarterback, and it's on him to facilitate that process to get a good quarterback. But so when you're ranking these jobs, I think that's where you start and you say what teams have a quarterback, what teams don't. All this stuff is not going to really help. The perception of Woody isn't good right now, and that's not going to help with candidates who have options. But here's the thing: there's 32 jobs. There's only 32 of them. Somebody's going to want to take this job. Somebody will want it. They'll figure it out. And you never know who's going to be the guy. Like I think Dan Campbell with Detroit is a perfect example. I don't think you guys were all crying that like the Jets hired Robert Saleh and didn't hire Dan Campbell in 2021. Dan Campbell was joked about. Dan Campbell was joked about it. The kneecap comment, right? Got all that play. And at that time they didn't have the quarterback situation figured out, right? They had Stafford at that point, I think, right? And then right when they got hired, they traded Stafford for Goff. So, it can work out with the right person. So I wouldn't get too caught up in, oh my God, no one's going to want to come here. Somebody's going to want to come here.
Thanks, man. Buckeye.
Yep. Buckeye, you got anything?
Come back to
All right. Brian, so to that point, thanks, June. Brian, so so if Rodgers is gone, are you starting Tyrod next year? Are you giving Jordan Travis? Are you drafting a quarterback? Because, I mean, Brian, to be honest, I said it yesterday, and I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I don't care. Who cares? But if they don't win another game, and even if they do win another, this is, in my opinion, I'm in my 40s. This is the worst Jets team ever in my eyes because of all the talent that they had.
Yeah, so the quarterback again, everything's on the table, Pete. Like if you had to ask me right now, gun to my head, who's the week 1 starter next year, I go with Tyrod. I think he's probably he's the bridge quarterback, and whether the guy behind him is Jordan Travis or whether they draft someone else, I don't know. I think we're having these conversations very early, right, on November 20th. Who we don't know what the draft process is going to show with these quarterbacks and how many of them are actually top 10 picks or first round picks. So that's up to the next GM to figure out. And Jordan Travis is a tough guy to get a read on because he hasn't practiced all year. So I haven't even seen him throw football really, just on the side. So those are evaluations they're going to have to make. But I think you go into it again, this whole process, like everything's on the table. Any of those possibilities you mentioned, I think are you could do. But the next GM, that's going to be, head coach. I think is the first thing to figure out. But what the quarterback plan is probably number two.
Brian, why did you pick Matt Nagy?
Yeah, all right. I knew that was popular. And I want to make clear I'm not saying that's who I would hire if it was my decision. I'm saying I think that's what makes logical sense to me. Because number one, he's been a head coach before. I think that's going to be important to Woody. I don't think he's going to want to hire a first-time head coach. Maybe he will, but I don't know. My gut feeling is he's going to be looking for somebody with experience. Nagy went to the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky. His resume is not as bad as the perception of him. If you look at it, he had a winning record in Chicago. The number two, I think the idea of taking someone from Kansas City, Andy Reid, is going to be attractive to Woody. Number three, we all know a phone call from a future Hall of Fame quarterback goes a long way with his organization. And I can picture Patrick Mahomes calling the ambassador, calling Mr. Ambassador. I think you should hire Matt Nagy. I think that, that I could see that happening. And then number four, I don't think Nagy's going to be a guy that has a lot of options. I think for Nagy, it would be a choice of like the Jets or staying with the Chiefs in the idea that he could take over when Andy Reid retires. So all that is just, for me, it's logic. Like it just kind of logically, like what the question just was about how attractive the job is. It's hard for me to see, is Vrabel going to come here? Ben Johnson going to come here? I think guys with options probably aren't going to come here.
Brian, what do you think of Brian Flores?
Yeah, he's an interesting one, Pete. And I have to do more reporting on what happened in Miami because I only know it at the base level of just reading the stories about him and Tua. He obviously he's had success and he's a great defensive coach, clearly. But if I remember correctly, he went through offensive coordinators in Miami every single year, right? Wasn't Chan there his first year? And then I think he had a different offensive coordinator almost every year. What happens with the Tua situation? There was a lot of people when he left kind of blasting him, which happens when coaches leave a lot of times. So I'd have to dig in a little bit more. I mean, his football chops are you can't really question those. You'd have to figure out more what happened as a leader in Miami.
Right.
Hey,
Now,
Brian, let me ask you, Brian, do you think Woody would possibly go against his peers to hire him?
You mean in terms of the lawsuit?
Yeah,
I think he would. I don't think Woody would get caught up in that. I think if Woody felt like he was the right guy, look, he hasn't been excommunicated from the NFL. He's in defensive coordinator in the NFL right now. So,
right.
I do think, and that'd probably be the end of the lawsuit, right? If he became a head coach, it would. Yeah. I'm not a legal scholar, but I'm going to guess that if you're suing the league saying, there's discriminatory practices on hiring head coaches and then you get a head coach job, it might be beneficial for the NFL for him to get a head coaching job. I don't know. So I don't think that would be a roadblock to it.
Brian, I got a few more, but I want to get some of the fans in here. Hogs, go ahead.
Morning, everybody. Morning, Brian. Thanks for hopping on. So Brian, I got two questions here. Why fire him now?
Yep.
Why not just let the 6 weeks come up, end the year, and shake hands, go separate ways? I'm not sure if you know this or not, but was there anything in the last 24 to 48 hours that caused that move yesterday? I have a second question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I think the idea was the Jets wanted to start the process, and that doesn't necessarily mean they can't interview guys that are working for teams yet, but just starting to figure out who's going to help with this search, who's going. I'm gonna guess they're gonna hire somebody from the outside to help with that, whoever that is. Doing that, formulating the list, starting the research. They can talk to GM candidates who don't work for teams right now. So if you wanted to talk to Thomas Dimitroff, you could interview him now. If you want to talk to Louis Riddick, you could talk to him now. So you can't do that stuff with Joe Douglas in the building. Like, even if he knows he's gone, like, it's going to be, unless you had like some kind of agreement with him that he was just going to play out the string. But I don't think Joe would want to do that. Like, why would he want to stick around for this time? So they can have a meeting today in a conference room in the middle of the Jets building to talk about who the next GM is going to be. If Joe is there, they can't do that.
Right.
So, I think that's why this happened now. And like the bye week obviously was kind of a natural break, I think, and I think Woody, look, I think you guys were probably there, some of you at least, was like going into Arizona. It was like, okay, they beat Houston. Like, if they go on a run here, maybe something happens. The Arizona loss happens. That dwindles the hope. And then they lose to the Colts, and then there's no hope. So the
Right.
Colts game felt like that was the end of the season to me. And I'm sure that felt that way to Woody. So I think he made the move then. I don't think there was any blow up or anything like that. But I just think it was the matter of moving on and getting started with the process.
Yeah, a second question, Brian, and then I'll hop off. I'm 35 years old. I have never felt this low about the team until now. I got to tell you. My concern is around the league is that listen, team coaches talk, ex-coaches talk, executives talk, right? Everybody does.
Yeah. Yep.
How much of a laughing stock are the Jets around the league right now? Because I feel like everyone's making fun of them. I really do.
Yeah, I mean they are, but I think there have been examples. Washington was a laughing stock. Obviously, they had an ownership change, which helped, and I know everyone's sell the team, but it can flip quickly, and I do think as much as like, oh, laughing stock. I guys, my phone lit up yesterday with agents of GMs, like GM candidates, calling me asking me questions about it. Like, there are people that want this job, so yeah, they're being laughed at right now, and it's not a good it's not a good time for the Jets organization. But I don't think that has staying power, is what I'd say. I think if they hire the right people, they can turn it around fairly quickly. I do think there's talent on this roster, so it's not like you're starting. I don't know, pick a year of like where they were 2021, where it felt like there was very little talent on this roster when Saleh got here. There are some good pieces, and so I don't think the future is quite as bleak as it feels right now.
Brian, that's where, and I do this uh, during the week all the time. Brian, that's where I do have the problem with some, because a lot of fans say nobody's going to come here. Brian,
Yeah.
there's definitely some. These guys all have egos. They
Yes.
want to be the one to change it around. Correct? Like, am I
No.
like making stuff up or?
Yeah. No, I think that's the selling point, Pete. Right? Because like somebody asked me yesterday, like, how do you sell the job? And the job, yeah, it's like if you come here and win, you're a legend for life, right? Like if you can win big here, there's going to be a statue of you somewhere outside the stadium or outside the Florida Park somewhere. Like it's this place is starved for winning, and look at how Rex is being viewed as like, oh, he should get a second chance. It's because Rex is the last guy who won with any consistency here. So you could be, you can come here and be a legend for sure. I think that is a selling point. And you're right. I mean, I think coaches believe they can be the ones to change things. Most coaches don't see it as, it's going to be insurmountable. Like I always kind of chuckle when coaches come here and they talk about how, they're going to turn things around and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think they ever really realize what they're completely getting into. And then at some point you kind of see it in their eyes, that they realize it. But I do think that you'll find somebody to come here, Pete. It's just finding the right person.
All right. Speaking of chuckles, Brian, a quick better chance Rex Ryan being the coach here or Aaron Rodgers being a New York Jet next year?
Oh, man. Wow. That's a good one, Pete.
Ryan, I have you speechless almost.
I would say Rex. I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth, but I would say Rex has a better chance. I really think the Rodgers thing is done. And I do think there is an outside chance that Rex ends up with this job.
Wow. Okay. Vincent, give me a second because Mark's usually, one of the people of the show here every day. So I want Mark to get up, and then you. Mark, go ahead.
Thanks, Pete. Kaz, good to talk to you again.
Yep.
Really appreciate you coming in. To your point about the Jets, this job became, so nasty that, folks wouldn't come in. I mean, there's 32 of these positions in the league, right? So,
And
there's more astronauts.
It also pays pretty well.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, I have grave concerns about ownership.
Yep.
And my question for you is, do you think that Woody would have the presence of mind to appoint a director of football ops? I don't know if you've answered this already, especially given who knows if he's going to end up overseas and then try to be managing the team from abroad. Like, what's your sense of that?
Yeah, I don't have a great sense of that. I do think it's a possibility, but to me, I keep coming like, why can't the general manager just do that job? I keep kind of coming back to why do they need that extra layer? I saw Gary Meyer's suggestion of Curtis Martin the other day, and I've seen other people talk about Pete Carroll. And I think, I think they have to be open to every idea. But to me, it's like, I do think they're going to hire somebody to help them with the search, but that person's not going to stay on after the search. But like once the GM is hired, I think you got to let them be the GM. It's hard for me to think of examples where there was a president of football operations above a GM and it worked really well. I remember Parcells doing it in Miami. It didn't really work there. I remember Holmgren doing it in Cleveland. It didn't work there. So, I think you have to hire a really good GM, and you don't really need that person above them.
Vincent, go ahead.
Hey, Brian, good to hear from you. So I have a two-part question. Part one, what does Woody look for in a candidate? Because I feel like the past couple of times he was never satisfied. Yeah, Joe Douglas got 6 years. What is he typically looking for in a GM? And two, if they do hire a GM, let's say Agnew or the assistant GM in Kansas City, is there a possibility that Aaron Glenn, Matt Nagy could be a coaching candidate? Because the one guy I think that should look at a job, and I don't know why he doesn't want to deal with the NFL, is David Shaw, the head coach used to be the head coach at Stanford. Would that be an option?
It's tough to say what Woody looks for. Joe Douglas obviously was Christopher Johnson's hire, and that was really Adam Gase's hire. Adam Gase and Joe had a relationship, and Adam wanted him to be the GM. I think Woody's going to listen to people here, and again, I keep saying, I think someone's going to come in to help with the search. I think he's going to listen to their recommendations. I think Woody is going to want, what all you guys are looking for, just somebody who feels like that has the answers to this. And I don't necessarily think he's going in thinking the GM has to have X, Y, and Z. I think he's going to be open to looking at what they have. In terms of pairing people together, I think that's a possibility. I don't think they'll go in committed to that, but I think if they hire Agnew and Agnew says Aaron Glenn is the guy, they'll probably do that. I don't know how this is going to go yet. It's still like we're not even 24 hours in, so I would think they're going to hire the GM first, and then probably have a parallel track where they're interviewing some coaching candidates. But once the GM is hired, let him have the final say. So it could happen, but I don't think it's something they're going and thinking they have to do.
Brian, are you going to One Jets Drive this week during the
No,
bye or
there's
no?
nothing. There's nothing there this week, Pete.
Okay.
Yeah, so the players all left yesterday, is my understanding.
Okay, so they'll be back Monday or Tuesday?
Monday, yeah. And I think Monday will probably be virtual, and then I don't think I'll be back in Forum Park until next Wednesday.
All right, Brian. So hear me out here. So, Brian, there were actual people canceling their season tickets during the game, man. I mean, It's what is going to be the attractive point for fans? Like, because Brian, fans long time are giving up, man. Like, it seems like there's just no hope.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't even imagine what the business side of the Jets looks like right now, because I've heard from a lot of people who said, they're canceling their tickets, and I understand it. Like they raised prices, and it's I have two young kids. I obviously don't go to Jets games with them, but I've taken them to sporting events, and it's a bit of a hassle to go to a sporting event, right? Like the drive is tough, the parking is tough, it's expensive. Everything at the stadium is expensive beyond even the tickets. So I get it. So I think they have nothing to sell right now, Pete. Right? They at this moment right now, there's nothing to sell, and if they bring in a really charismatic coach, maybe they can sell him. Because someone suggested to me, oh, like they might keep Rodgers to sell tickets. Like Rodgers isn't selling tickets at this point. Like you guys are tired of him. So I they could find some hope and sell some tickets in the spring. But right now, I agree with you. It's there's not much hope right now, and it's hard to sell tickets on anything other than you guys having loyalty to the team.
And Brian, not for nothing, but to your point, that's the reason why, even though we don't, well, majority of the fan base don't want Rex. I think because Rex sells tickets.
Yeah, Rex would
That's
sell
one thing
tickets.
he
Right.
can do. He's definitely a real candidate.
Yeah. Here's the other part of Rex. Right. What do we keep saying? Like, who's going to want this job? Right.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that if they interview 20 people for head coach, the guy who's going to come across as wanting the job the most is Rex Ryan. He loves the Jets. He does. And like I talked to him plenty of times about it. He loves the Jets. And so he's going to convey that. And so if they're sitting there going like, wow, like this guy doesn't really feel like candidate X wants the job. Like it feels like they're just giving us an interview. Like Rex would be the guy who's going to run through a wall for the Jets. And I do think that could be attractive.
Brian, don't comment on this. Do you have Rex Ryan's phone number like Manish has Joe Douglas's? Sorry about that. Sorry, Brian. I have to bring some humor to this. Brian, so I don't know if you know this. The season ticket thing, next year, the Jets are going to have a home game overseas. I don't know if you know that.
I've heard
But
that. Is that official?
well, I mean, it came out with Brian, this is how messed up it is there. Okay. So the season ticket, there was a deposit,
Yeah.
or the first payment was supposed to be due on November 15th. I'll talk to you off air about it, but because I don't, but so there's a 10% discount because there's only 9 home games next year. So one is because the Jets had the 9 home games with the NFC next year, but they have the Giants at home because this year they had 2 preseason and 8 home games. So it's usually 10. They're only billing for 9 this year. I just wanted you to know that.
No, when we were in London, I'd heard that the Jets will have a home game in London next year because the 3 London games have all been away that the Jets have played. 2015, 21, and this year were all road games. So, yeah,
right.
No, I figured I had heard that was coming, but that's interesting, Pete.
Well, yeah, and let's be real, Brian. You know it's not going to be the Bills because that's going to be the freaking premium game. It's not going to be the Steelers because that's going to be a premium game where Woody charges more money. It's probably going to be not going to be the Giants if the Jets finish in last because the Giants Jets will sell tickets, and it's not going to be Dallas. It's probably going to be one of these crap teams like Carolina. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, probably. Well, Pete, man, you're dialed in on the 2025 schedule.
Man, Brian, I mean, I can't believe in November, Brian, that we're actually talking about this because Brian, I got really not attacked by my fan base, but there was no way I was picking them to win the division because I have to see it. But Brian, even you thought they were going to win more. I mean,
10-7?
Is just
Brian,
this is beyond ocean bottom.
Petey, can I ask a question?
Franchise. Yes.
And sorry if this was touched on. I missed a little bit of it. When the insinuations are that this latest story that broke come directly, indirectly from Douglas, I'll ask if you're open to it. Like, do writers are there moles in the Jets for the writers that like is there truth to a Douglas indirect? Like, is this coming from Douglas? I guess that's the question.
Here's what I'll say. Yes, do we talk to people? Of course. Like that's the job is talk to people that work for the Jets, around the Jets. Sometimes it's not people that are directly with the Jets. Sometimes it's agents of players or coaches or GMs that you talk to. I will say this: usually, when a story breaks and everyone goes, "Oh, that person was the source," they're wrong. Like it's not the most obvious person. Like Joe Douglas did not spend his day yesterday calling reporters leaking stories. So I don't know who the athletic sources are, but it's usually not who you think. It's usually not the most obvious answer, and sometimes it's like guys, there's sources sometimes that are like somebody's neighbor, they say they told them this or something like that. Like you don't know who the sources are all the time, and usually when you're guessing, you're wrong. But yeah, clearly everyone talks to people, inside the building.
Do you feel like yesterday was something to do, not directly from him? Because I agree with you. I don't
Yeah.
think it ever comes from him. Did you feel it came from him to clear his name for his future?
No, I didn't. I don't think so. And again, I don't know who their sources are. And Diana's a good reporter. Zach's a good reporter. My read on that story was they had that stuff already in their notebooks, and yesterday they chose to write it because it was timely because of it was a time to write. Like we've seen the Athletic has they've done a good job on these stories of it's usually in the postseason of what happened, right? But they did this last year with the Panthers when that imploded. So I think they're ready when they see like there's going to be an implosion of an organization. They've already done the reporting and they have some stuff to go. And then when something happens like a firing, they write the story. So to me, like there's no way they got all those stories yesterday. They had those in their notebook, maybe
That's
some of
fair.
them. But I really, knowing Joe Douglas for the last 5 years, I don't believe Joe Douglas was the source of that.
That's fair. One last one for me, because like New Yorker to New Yorker,
Yeah.
We saw this with the Knicks. We saw this with Dolan. We saw the we're helpless. We're never going to
Yeah.
see winning. Dolan. So what? And again, we didn't know when Leon Rose was hired that holy shit, it changed.
Yeah.
What's going to be the change? What's the Leon Rose for this organization for us to not Dolan doesn't get mentioned anymore.
Yeah.
It's not a thing
It's
anymore.
funny. I'm probably gonna. I have to write my Post Plus newsletter today, and I was actually testing people this morning. Look, what happened with the Knicks? Because I don't know, the ins and outs. Because I'm thinking of writing that is like that kind of is that's the hope, right? If you're looking for hope with Woody, like that's the hope is looking at what happened with Dolan. Yeah, I don't know who the answer is, right? Like they hired an agent, and World Wide West was part of that too. So like I don't know who the answer is, but I do think that provides hope that it could happen. And to me, that's like the key to like people have asked me like what's gone wrong or whatever. The key to this whole thing is the quarterback. It's I'll come back to it. It's the quarterback, and so they're all going to look good if they get the right quarterback. But yeah, I mean, Leon Rose has turned the Knicks around, and you're right. Dolan is not. There's been a lot of columns written lately. Woody's the worst owner in New York.
No, it's fair, Brian, and,
Yeah.
and I'm old enough, and I think you are too. Look, there was a day and age Steinbrenner was this, and then all of a sudden the young guys don't know that they feel like he was the greatest owner in the world.
Yeah, and Stick Michael.
They don't know.
Stick Michael was the guy who totally changed there. Yeah. So one other thing on on your question about Joe Douglas, I will say this about Joe Douglas. I've covered a lot of GMs and coaches and things. Joe Douglas cared the least about what was written about him of anyone I've covered. Like Joe, because I know he didn't get criticized a lot, but I've dinged him a few times. Joe never got mad and cared. A lot of other guys do. So I don't think Joe is worried about the perception of him. Joe has a lot of belief in himself, and I think he thinks, the perception of him will be fine around the NFL, and he's going to land not a GM job, but he's going to land some kind of personnel job somewhere in the league.
And sorry, Mark, I know this is I promised the last one. A lot of the fans are mad when Joe wouldn't talk to the media for extended periods of time. I always feel, and again, same thing Dolan did, like that silence, level. Does that come from the organization, or was that a Joe D thing of I'm not available to the media?
I think a little bit of both. I think the organization has pretty steadily, I want to say since Tannenbaum, after Tannenbaum, been the GM, the GM doesn't talk during the season other than once, and the coach is the face of the organization. during the season. So I think it's partially from them. Now, if you're the general manager and you say like, "Hey guys, no, I think I should talk," you can override the other people in the organization and do it. My whole thing, and I've told the last 3 GMs this. I feel like is like I said, I was around the Yankees a lot, and Cashman is really good with the media, and Cashman. Like if the Yankees would have like a long like losing streak on a road trip, Cashman would talk the first day of the homestand, and he still does that, I think. And he's available a lot, and it not only benefits the fans, I think it benefits the GM too because they get a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt on things. So, Joe is accessible. Like if you really needed to ask him something off the record, you could do that with Joe. But yeah, I do wish he spoke more. But I think you're kind of seeing it around the NFL. There aren't many GMs now who are doing a lot of media availabilities.
Mark,
Thanks,
go
Brian.
ahead. Thanks, Buckeye. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So Kazi, I mean, you know as well as I do, when things go wrong, there's plenty of blame to go around. My question's about the future hireability of some of these folks who leave the Jets. So I think there's a perspective in the fan base that these guys are, honestly, some of the worst people to walk the planet. And then some. I'm curious from your perspective about how the team is viewed. Like if someone and I'm thinking right now about Jeff Ulbrich, frankly, because, folks, is the perspective that the people are just not good at their job? Like I'm talking like from executives outside the team, or is the perspective that, inside the building, things malfunction and we'll just chalk it up to the Jets being, for lack of a better phrase,
I think there's a little bit of both and depends on the person. Like, look, in the past, there's guys like, Adam Gase didn't get another job. Greg Williams didn't get another job. John Idzik got a job with Jacksonville. Lower McCagnon hasn't worked in the league since he was gone. So, like, those guys obviously were not viewed well. I think with this current crew, I think they're all going to get jobs. I think they're all going to get a lower job than they had, right? I don't think Joe Douglas is getting a GM job. I don't think Robert Saleh is getting a head coaching job. Ulbrich is an interesting one. He's certainly not getting a head coaching job. Does he get a defensive coordinator job? I'm not sure. Does he end up being a linebackers coach somewhere? Like, yeah, he's definitely going to get a job. But I do think they're all going to have to take a step back. So I think it's a little bit of both. I do think people recognize the challenges with the Jets, but there are people you talk to who think, Douglas and Saleh did good jobs here, and they were just kind of had some bad luck along the way. They messed up the quarterback decision. So I do think they'll be working in the league next year, I believe.
Kaz, a couple more for me. What gets me mad, Kaz, now is that they traded for Devontae, and now if they get rid of him, I mean, they just threw away draft picks, and they need these, man. Like, what are they doing? Like, what do you, now? Is this
no? I
on?
mean, Pete, that I was not for the Devontae trade. I was against it. I just didn't think you were going to get the bang for your buck there. Like I like people would say, well, he's going to make the Jets a better team. Absolutely, they're a better team with Devontae Adams at wide receiver than Alan Lazard, but. Was he really going to make that much of a difference? I didn't think so. And, we've seen it. Like I think he's opened things up for Garrett and he's had a good effect that way. But yeah, they gave up a 3rd round pick. And, it's funny, Pete, like we joke about like mock draft season and stuff. So I actually I was poking around Tankathon the other day and I clicked on their mock draft, right? They do their mock draft and they actually do, I can't remember how many rounds they do, but I looked through it and I got to the 3rd round. And there it was, like Raiders pick, and they do like from the Jets. And I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be a really good pick. Like that's early 3rd round. And the Jets 3rd rounder comes from Detroit, the one that they have, which is probably going to be 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Like it's not going to be high. It's going to be in the bottom of the round. So like, I think on draft day, people are going to be like, oh my God, the Devontae trade, that was a terrible move. So yeah, it's because I always felt like he was a 2-month rental too. Like I didn't think he was going to be here next year under any circumstances. So Yeah, I don't. That was not a good trade. And I actually saw. I hope you guys did not buy Devonte Adams jerseys because that's really
No.
throwing your money. I saw somebody at the game on Sunday with a Devonte Adams jersey. So my
Oh,
favorite.
maybe they could trade it in, Brian.
Guys, forget if
Who
he's
knows?
terrific or terrible. Can this organization handle a Shador Sanders type draft pick? Like where we are is like forget if he's again if he's
Yeah,
terrific or
good
terrible. Can
question.
this organization handle that?
Oh God,
I
good
don't.
question.
I don't think Dion's gonna let him come at all.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Dion let him come to the Jets. He's in some ways I think he's built for it because he's been like like what was the Zach Wilson knock beyond just playing, but like when he first got, he was like, oh, can a kid from Utah
Mm-hmm.
handle New York and the
Mm-hmm.
media? Like Shador has grown up around the media his whole life, and he's been in a major spotlight in Colorado, so I think he'd handle that part of it. Um, the football aspect of it is a different question if they have the structure there. But I do agree with you that I can't see Dion letting him come to the Jets.
Can't see that at all. Hey, guys, I got one more question from one of the listeners. They want to know do you believe that Woody is actually on social media and making decisions from social media?
So is Woody on social media? I think where it comes from is Woody has two sons who are teenagers.
Okay.
Um, and they're on social media, right? Anyone
Mm-hmm.
who has any teenagers at home knows what what it looks like. Um, and I do think there is some element that influences I don't want to say decisions as much as like I think he gets ideas from social media and says like what about this, like, right? Because I know I've been told through the years that something I've written has sparked a conversation where Woody has come to like a coach and said, hey, Costello says this, what do you think, right? Which you can say that's preposterous as it is, but so I think now social media has basically joined the traditional media in terms of opinions and stuff. So I do think if somebody like there's a lot of you guys that do a great job with producing content on the Jets, and I think if somebody says this player is not performing well, he might ask about it. And so I think it comes from social media somewhat, like the idea, but I don't think he's going like, hey, uh, Pete Pablo said this. We're going to do this. No offense, Pete. I don't think it's quite as pronounced as it sort of is becoming now. Like it's kind of becoming exaggerated a little bit. But I do think there is an element where his sons are looking at social media and saying, what about this?
Yeah, it's a lot of
Wow,
burners in here. I could see him.
Brian, what a compliment. Doing the four P's. Thank you so much, Brian. Jones, go ahead.
What's up, Brian? Yeah, I agree. I do think he has sat in the space before on the burner, though. So do our players. I believe that wholeheartedly. Uh, Question: This do you think Rod? You might have covered it already, but is there really a possibility? What's the percent Rodgers is not going to be on the roster next year?
Yeah.
And if he's not, could you name quarterbacks who are realistic possibilities? As I said yesterday, I feel like Mac Jones and Daniel Jones could really be looked at.
So I said I think there's a 99% chance he's not on the roster next year. I'm leaving 1% just because there's stuff that some crazy stuff happens, right? But I don't think he'll be back. In terms of like who I think Tyrod is like, I think he's going to be the bridge quarterback. So I don't think you'd be going out for a Daniel Jones or a Mac Jones. And then I think you have a young guy behind them, whether that's Jordan Travis or you want to draft somebody, or you do both. You draft somebody, you have the two of it, and you have all three of them next year. I think that's probably the way it's going to go. They already have a veteran quarterback in Tyrod signed next year, so I don't think. I mean, unless someone has a real affinity for like Daniel Jones or Mac Jones or something, I don't see them signing one of those guys.
So you don't see like a Fields maybe as a possibility, Brian?
Hey, he's a dish. I don't, but again, like you don't know who the coach is going to be. So like if these
Right.
coaches come in, if they were like if they have a history with somebody, or if they love them in the draft, like yeah, it could. I wouldn't rule it out. I just sitting here like right now, not knowing who the coach is going to be.
Mhm.
I look at it and go like I just think Tyrod is there. He's been a starter before. I think you roll with him for a little while, and then probably give a young guy a shot at some point.
Brian, so just say hypothetically, I don't want this, but just say Woody hires Mike McCarthy. Could you see McCarthy keeping Rodgers for the year at that 1%?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm
look,
not trying to.
I would think so.
I'm just playing
Yeah,
hypotheticals
I
here.
like, and again, like that, there was complications between Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers at the end, but now they both speak lovingly of each other. So yeah, I mean that's a possibility. You know, again, like they were so early in this whole thing. Like it's hard to rule out anything at this point. It's November 20th. Like it's hard to say this isn't happening or this is happening. Like we're very, very, very early in this whole journey to week 1, 2025. We got 6 games left in this season.
Yeah, Brian, there's a couple more, and again, thanks, man. You've
Yeah,
been really
I just got to
gracious.
run a little bit. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you got. Can you stay on for 5 more? Is
Yeah.
that cool?
Yep.
All right. So, Brian, do you think, like this athletic report? I know you don't like to whatever, but do you think Woody Johnson had any benching Tony Adams? I mean,
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean,
I don't know the answer, Pete. I don't know. Like I had not heard that. I don't know it not to be true. Cause I said to somebody this morning, I'm like, I get the Aaron thing is going to be the headline and what everyone focuses on, but to me, like Woody, a lot of times functions like a fan. Like he's a lot like a fan, and what fan hasn't said bench the quarterback, right? That's a fire the coach, bench the quarterback. Those are knee jerk reactions. So if he said maybe we should bench Aaron, like as crazy as it sounds, I'm kind of like, yeah, I could see that happening. Him caring about who is the starting free safety to me is very strange. Like that's Woody being that and like that involved is strange to me, but I wouldn't rule it out. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I have not been told. I've asked a few people and no one's been able to confirm that for me. So I don't know. But that one's a weird one. But I also thought benching Tony Adams was kind of weird. Like
yeah,
I did think,
Yeah, Kaz, a couple of rapid fires. Will the Jets win another game this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I
June,
mean,
you're off my.
No, I'm just laughing.
Well, because now Brian fans are going to be like, oh, we need to tank. You know how this is going to go.
I do. We've lived this one before, Pete.
Far too many times.
Peter, we're going rapid fire. Will Ashton Davis be a good Eagle next year?
Look, now, guys, if what you say is true with Matt Nagy, I can see them connecting the dots to Justin Fields. Isn't that Matt Nagy did draft him?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he did. So
wow, good one, June.
Yep.
Kaz, again, man, I can't thank you enough. Every time I see you, you're always good to me. Thank you so much.
Hang in there.
Be in touch.
Hang in there, guys. I
Thanks,
know it's
guys.
bleak.
Thanks, man.
I know it's bleak. I feel for you guys. You guys are, great, passionate, loyal bunch that, and it's been a lot of suffering. So hang in there.
Brian, if they only knew, do you think last one, Brian, from me, and then June just go. Brian, do you really think Woody Johnson truly knows how much this fan base cares?
I do. I don't see how you couldn't be. Like you guys are not shy. So does he? I don't think he puts the blame on himself. But I do think he understands how frustrated everyone is, and he sees more information than any of us see about like ticket sales and things like that. So I think it's true. I'm sure it's being expressed there.
June, do you have anything else?
No, I was just gonna say, when you said hang in there, guys, after a while you just become numb to it. So that's just me right now. I'm just numb to it.
Yeah, and then that's the apathy is almost worse than when everyone's angry. And I do think even like the team right now, like the feeling I got Sunday after the game was, I'd say resignation. Like I feel like the team now is like just get the season over with, please. which I think a lot of you guys are at the same boat right now.
Kaz, last one, the Rex Aaron question. What chant will be louder next home game? Sell the team or JETS?
Maybe let's go Seahawks. All right. Do the
Oh,
Seahawks
gosh,
have a
that's
fan
right.
base
The
here?
12th man.
Yeah, the 12th
I don't
man.
even know.
I mean, look, I was at Super Bowl, whatever it was, at MetLife, and that place was rocking for the Seahawks that day. So maybe the Seahawks fans will turn out.
Brian, hopefully we'll talk to you before the
All
end
right,
of the
guys.
year. Thank you.
Thanks for
Have a
having me.
great day.
Talk to you later.
Thanks,
You
guys.
got it. Brian Costello, thank you so much. Guys, if you want to come up and continue to talk.
Wait. What did I say? I'm so happy he said it. What did I tell you 3 weeks ago? I said a coach with a lot of options is not going to take this job. It has to be a coach who doesn't have a lot of options. Matt Nagy don't have a lot of options.
I get it, June.
Rex don't have a lot of options.
It's not going to be Rex, bro.
Look, I hopefully it's not. But
I could give you McCarthy. I mentioned Peterson this morning.
yes,
Nagy's a good one. Like these are
yes.
all like guys that I think need a job, and they're not going to be in great positions to get the job that they want.
Right.
But those are two for sure. Peterson, McCarthy, three. Nagy too. Like those are three. And by the way, I don't think he'll get a job right away. But I don't think Dable's got his pick of the litter unless he wants to go right back to an OC.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you on that.
I'd be super happy if that was the head coach, by the way.
Can I ask a question of Petey? Petey, are you here?
Yep.
Pete, good morning. Thanks for having me up. Here's my question for you. In your long history of watching this team, and you've seen plenty of bad football and, McCagnon and all the coffee cups and the Idzik 12 and all. And now this year you've got the head coach fired and the GM fired both mid-season with almost half the season left. Have you, first of all, has that ever happened?
No, not that I remember, Mark, but I'm going to be snidey on this. This is too smart of a question for me. So I decline the comment. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know.
Mark, I haven't really talked to you. Mark, I literally, during the first half of the game, I got up to go in the hallway. Like, I still watch from the tunnel part, but Mark, I had to get up and just like, I felt like I was entrapped, where I was sitting, and I just had to get up. It was bad, Mark.
It's like when there's a solar eclipse, and people watch it through like the pinhole camera. You guys make those as kids, you know what I mean? And it's like you have to watch the game through that to just because now when they do boneheaded stuff, I'm not like I can't believe that happened. I'm like I expect that stuff to happen. And for folks that watch this team and see the boneheaded stuff occur, like there are bad teams. I mean, the Browns? They had a guy jump in a lake or a river because they had a winless season. Like, I'm sorry, you can't hold a candle to what we're seeing here. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've never seen a team with this kind of talent. And then we have folks say, oh, well, maybe they're not as talented as we thought. They have plenty of talent, but I've never seen a team this talented look so bad, put out such a bad product.
Hey, Mark, you have been gone a while. I got to give you the good news. Hexakin was found. Hexakin, he's alive. He's still alive.
I feel for Hex because he's about as high passion a fan as I've heard in the room. And I know that for all the passionate and optimistic fans, like it's down bad, real bad.
Yeah. Mark, speaking of something good though, Reg, before you jump in, Mark, so I was.
Oh, Reggie's out of witness protection. Welcome back.
Yeah. So hold on 1 second. So I was at the game, like in the, where the military was and everything. And somebody mentioned my name and it was Will Houseman that's up here now. And he's like, Petey, he's like, I'm on your space every day. Will, why don't you come off and just, I appreciate that. That was pretty cool moment, man. Because I'm like, who are you? But I just wanted to thank you, man. Good to hear from you, man.
No, absolutely. I'm always listening, and thanks for having me. I wanted to see what you guys' opinion was on taking a flyer on Bryce Young, and maybe going like you mentioned, telling the fan base, hey, we're gonna do, like Dolan did, taking a step back. We're gonna see if we could build this from the bottom up, and maybe go on offensive coordinator, hire a football operations, and
What's
seeing
up,
maybe if
Jim?
we could take a flyer on Bryce Young.
Can I say something
Uh,
about that?
yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah,
Will, I'm of the opinion, and this is a larger conversation, but I'm of the opinion that the league has a quarterback problem, and they get these young quarterbacks in place, and they don't really give them the same. Again, these great young talents coming out of college go to shit teams with shit programs. They get churned out because they don't produce on the timeline that the CBA demands that these guys produce at, and we're going to start to see these guys rotate around the league. And by the way, let's not forget, this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest position in professional sports to get good at, which is the quarterback role. So I would not be surprised to see the Jets, if they get an OC in there, they're trying to buy a little time, they got a bridge quarterback, like go get some of these guys who come off these teams who are highly drafted prospects and see if there's any juice for the squeeze with these guys. I'm not opposed to it. I
Yep.
mean, look at what's happening. I'm not saying, Justin Fields is going to be the second coming and can revitalize his career, but if you go somewhere solid and you've got a vet up front and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, what can we really do with this guy? Like, why not take a flyer?
That
Seriously, as opposed to a retread or an old guy risk an injury, like why not do it?
Well,
That's
Mark,
actually a
that
good
yeah.
choice as far as a quarterback for you guys if you truly want to. Because if at this rate, I don't see them switching out Russell right now. That's an asset for them now. They haven't
No.
been where they're at in a long time.
Yeah.
They have a
But you
quarterback
think
now.
they're going to extend Russell?
Hell yeah,
Will,
hell
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
let
hell
me
You
yeah.
let me
know
just
why?
say,
You know
wait,
why?
yeah, let me just answer this, June, before I forget. Sorry, just let me. So, what's going to be the theme next year if Tyrod's the quarterback? Everybody's going to say he's going to get hurt at some point, like Tyron Smith, right? Is that going to be
Correct.
the
Right.
so? The quarterback behind him is probably going to play.
Yes.
So, I mean,
I,
I think
I
it's an option. One of these
you,
guys that didn't work
the
out with another team.
the best options I do see for you guys though, and I'm not no, no riding, no trolling, no nothing. I do see if you guys are truly looking for a head coach, I do, and you're trying to revive your best asset, which is your defense. You have to go take a flyer out on
Yeah,
Flores.
that's my guy.
I'm totally okay with
Flores,
that.
and
Yep.
then on top of that, you add a Justin Fields to the mix with a running game behind him to so he could sustain. You have a receiver. You may have to let go of another asset in order to get a Fields, which may be, I would say, who do you prefer to pay? Do you prefer to pay Garrett or do you prefer to pay Sauce?
Garrett,
I
of
would say
Yeah.
course.
Garrett is more on the
Garrett.
But
up and up
but
year versus
I do think one of these younger guys though aren't gonna, because Fields isn't gonna command top money.
No.
If you get
Bryce. Okay.
if you get Flores, I guarantee you he's gonna want to choose Sauce around Garrett Wilson because he knows he can build that. He knows he can build a defense
but
involving Sauce because pretty again
But the
it's
biggest need right now, though, the biggest need is a quarterback. That is all you guys need is a quarterback. That is it.
oh
But you're gonna have to give up something
we
for
know
it.
that, but if they pick up Justin Fields or they trade for Bryce Young, I would say more so
Mm,
for Justin Fields because you can use his athleticism and really expand
exactly.
upon the run game. So I know some Jets fans, they may not like what I'm saying this, but you need to get bigger, you need to get you need to get more physical, you need to get nasty on that offensive line. If you can build that offensive line and continue to improve that run game, now
You
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 can
you
use Justin Fields. You can play a lot of play action.
you
Start
gotta
focusing
you
on your
gotta tackle.
intermediate.
You picked up a good tackle in the draft. You know what I mean? You still have a
Rashawn,
couple
yep.
pieces on one. I don't know if they're on 1 year deals. I don't know exactly what their contract looks like, but it's still a decent line. It just to me, it just doesn't fit with Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows with another quarterback,
that
it might
line
be
honestly fits with
top
the
tier.
field. It fits more with Justin Fields, and I would say more with Aaron Rodgers. For what they want to do with Aaron Rodgers, I just think that the personnel doesn't really fit that much with the blocking scheme that Aaron Rodgers is accustomed to. I think it
Hmm.
fits more with the Fields.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so
real
too.
quick, guys. Let me just jump in. William, you got anything else for us? Nice to hear from you, man. Appreciate your support.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like the input on Fields. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll drop
But
down. I appreciate
you're
that.
probably gonna
yeah.
have to let go of
Thanks,
whatchamacallit over
Will.
there though. You might have to let
Good to
go of
meet you, man.
Sauce for him.
Well,
Good to meet you.
yep.
Yeah,
You
Real
that's
know
quick,
that you
guys.
know.
Wait 1 second, Red. Before we
Go
close,
ahead.
guys, if guys, we're on YouTube live right now, streaming on YouTube. If you guys can subscribe to Jets
Oh
Commute
shit,
on
my
YouTube,
dog.
coming up. Reg, can you mute real quick, please, brother?
My bad, my bad.
It's all good. If you could subscribe on that, we're coming out with shorts. We'll do a live giveaway at some point. And just trying to, you know, do this for everybody here, the fans. And we come in here to talk ball, not about other people. So, you're more than welcome to come up, if you want to talk football in here, or sports. Reg, if you want to jump in, go ahead. If not, I'm going to close the space, guys.
Reginald.
Hello.
Reginald.
I hear you, Petey.
All right. Buckeye, June, Mark, thanks. Thanks to Brian Costello. Shout out to my man Tom Ford. Neek, you've been a regular now. Thank you. Jarek, you're always a regular. Jarek, I'll talk to you any day of the week, my man. I see Lee Sean in here, Rusty, Emerson, Bird, what up? M. Paz, Will Houseman just came up. First time, Coach Huge, Steven, Sad Jack Calendar, Hector, Mike F. All the
Hex,
listeners,
Shout out
have
to
a great day.
Hexakin. Hang in there,
Hexikin.
bro.
Hexikin.
Go Buckeyes, Jarek. Go Buckeyes.
Hexikin, we miss you, bro. We forgot what your voice sound like.
You're still not winning a national championship,
Oh,
Buckeye.
don't do
You
that.
forget about it this
Thanks,
season.
Pete.
Yeah, so guys, enjoy the day. Hit the subscribe on Jets Commute on YouTube. Would really appreciate it. Can't give up. Go Jets. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, Zach Rosenblatt from The Athletic within the week will join us too. So this should be interesting. See you guys.
Hold
See
on.
you.
Hold on. You moving too fast. You know I got to end it off.
Oh,
Blow it up.
we'll see you later on CB Space. Neek, you're even saying tear it down.
Hey,
Tear it
Yeah,
listen,
down.
bro. Look, a lot of people are coming over to the side. They see it.
I'm out, guys. Good day. Ciao.